Outlaw family, what it do, what it do, what it do, hump day edition. Wednesday in the 414. Outlaw Radio do for self tonight. That's what we on that type of shit tonight.
Oh shit.
Do for
That's
self.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Come
I'm
on.
not
This
alone.
is shit here.
As you can tell by my rude house guests, I have my partners with me. Mr. Carter, what to do, man?
Peace, y'all. Peace. Yeah, this is my kind of show, do for self. Well, how y'all doing out there, y'all? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace, y'all. I'm also the one who brings you nature natural herbs and supplements and vitality smoothies. Y'all better come on in. You can find it on Facebook, Nature Natural Herbs and Supplements. Or you go to my health page, Help Yourself, Heal Thyself, ask somebody about me, and they're going to point you in my direction. Go to my page, Kamar Carter, inbox me, and I'm going to tell you how to get your Nature Natural Herbs and Supplements and or vitality, y'all. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Valentine in the building, man. What you calling yourself tonight? Really 2 Chains. What it do, man? What it do?
You know, that's my mafia name, really 2 Chins. You know what I'm saying?
2 Chins. Oh,
yeah,
2
really
Chins.
2 Chins, you know, Reliano Cantone, you know, but
yeah.
really 2 Chins for short, you know.
Look, he's always priding himself by not having this nickname, this kind of thing we do, but I have to read his titles because I see last week he had Light Skin Levert. Right. So he has them. We got to get him into the fashion of saying them. Welcome to the show, man. We were off Monday night. Had to recharge a little bit. I wasn't feeling saucy. I wasn't feeling saucy. I'm feeling saucy tonight, though.
When your body tell you to rest, you take that rest, man.
Yeah, man. Don't ignore it. You know, sometimes it's time to meditate in order to mediate.
Most definitely.
Dion said it's about time. He said, "Shit, no, you only here twice a week. A motherfucker miss one day. It seemed like a week or two." I love that sentiment, Dion. He said, "Black
That's
people,
fly. We want it, man. We desire."
Shout out to Jesse, man. I see you. He said, "Welcome back." Shout out to you and Shabaka. He said that nigga got a hell of an intro. Your cousin? Your cousin got a hell of an intro? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, man. Like I said, man, happy to be back, man. And you know, shout out to all of the people who really support the show because believe it or not, I get several calls and several, people inboxing me when the show ain't on. Like, dude, what's good? Like, where the show at? So, shout out to all y'all, man. Mama Jenkins, Dion, several people. Hey, man, what's going on? So I appreciate that. We appreciate that love. There is a number attached to the show. It's 414. No, it's not. It's 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131.
He's gonna get a landline number out.
I was gonna give him your number, Kamar, and have him calling your phone.
Come on in, y'all.
I said I sell you some shit. You call my number. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
But and this is like for people who don't know what we really do. It's just a show for foundational Black Americans, in particular Black males. And I'm a Gen Xer type shit. Real, I think you might be millennial.
I don't know.
You're not a Gen Y. No, I know. I keep up on the generations. That's
83. So I don't know. You tell me, fam.
Well, wait. Gen X in 78. Maybe I think you might be a millennial. I
call myself an indigo child.
I've heard you call yourself a lot of shit, right? So I know you something, right? You something.
I am somebody. Shit.
But so we talk about any and everything in between those lines, right? Like whatever generation you're from, if you're a Black person, like a foundational Black American, you can relate to the show. So I said all of that to say I have to start off by saying condolences and prayers and more of a thank you to Harry Belafonte,
man,
who just passed away, right? 96 years old. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think you can be sad at someone's funeral if they die when they're 96.
Yeah, true.
So it's more of a thank you because if people are not aware of who Harry Belafonte actually was, right? and the things he did very early on when it was
Right.
not the norm at all, right?
Right.
Somebody who stiff arms mainstream at that time what would be mainstream Negro success and celebrity, because his attitude was shit's foul. I'm not gonna pretend like this ain't happening, and I'm not gonna take
Right.
these bootlicking ass jobs just to
Right.
get y'all recognition. I'm gonna do for self. I'm gonna do for self. I'm gonna do what I need to do for me.
Was he from America? Like, was he from the islands or something, or was that
You know
Sidney
what?
Poitier? I mean,
Sidney
I know Sidney
Poitier
Poitier was
was
like
not
from
from he was like
Saint
Holy
Lucia or some
Caribbean or
shit.
something like that. Let's see where Harry Belafonte was
He had
actually.
that dope ass daylight.
48 was from Harlem. He was from 29 from Burleigh.
Right, he's from Burleigh and shit.
Yeah.
Wasn't he on center? What, right? Wasn't he GD? Wasn't he growth and development? I don't know. Right?
But no, he the first time I heard Harry Belafonte, damn, I'm high. I seen him on Sesame Street singing that banana song.
Right.
That song. So, and then when I got older, you know, one of my favorite movies is Uptown Saturday Night with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby, and he played what was that, Biggie Smalls?
He was in a bunch of movies, but what happened with his with his career was that he was on track to have some real mainstream success, but he walked away from, and so there was a period where he didn't really get a lot of work. But he sacrificed. Sharon Evans, shout out to Sharon Evans. She said he's from the Caribbean islands.
Oh, okay, thanks. So him and
love my Outlaw family.
Trailblazers from the islands.
Yeah, and he recognized that we're all men of color. Yeah, I'm from,
Right.
But this ain't right what they doing. Dion says, I definitely appreciate the outlet you have, Kev. No cap. I love the way we can express ourselves without being censored. No doubt. Shout out to Dion, of course, man. Unbought and unbothered, right? Unapologetically, if I need to start using those kinds of words. But Harry Belafonte, man, and at the forefront of everything that was ever going on with the people, was close friends with Malcolm, worked with Martin. All those movements over the years, he was at the forefront of, going around the country, target on his back, don't give a fuck. And if you don't know what white people were doing with McCarthyism in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s, in which that was always a witch hunt for communists. So black people always was suspected of, because we know shit, they ain't loyal to us. You got to know your history, man, in order to really appreciate a brother like Harry Belafonte. So that's why I said I want to say rest in peace, but I want to say thank you.
Right.
For being, they say be the change you want to see, right? And we always talk about these celebrities now and how they conduct themselves. Those who say, "Oh, I have no social responsibility, ain't no role model," da 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 da. And then you got one who be like, "Look, man, I ain't with the bullshit. I'm talented. I can dance, but I ain't dancing no jig." Right? And that's what we say. I don't know what y'all think about Harry Belafonte. I mean, because we all know the Banana Song, and I think that's probably what kept him going for so long. Because that record is one of those.
Man, that ain't going nowhere.
Right, that's like Happy Birthday.
So
whoever owns the rights to that shit,
right.
rich a million times, right? So, but I don't know. He had just knowing historically what he did. He was one of the black celebrities when I was growing up. So it's just like, okay,
right. To me, he was the male version of Cicely Tyson. Like I look at them in that same esteem. So like you said, it ain't like a sad thing. It's like a well done, job well done. Thank you for the inspiration, and going on and be with the elders and ancestors now.
Yeah, you reach that point in life, man. You know what I mean? Hopefully you've done your job.
I want to see that age, man.
Hopefully you've influenced a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I think he's done that. You know what I mean? Hopefully by then you lived a great life. You get a chance to see the world. You know what I mean? To travel. He's done that. You know what I mean? So like you say, it's time for a thank you and a celebration for his life. You know what I mean? Because he celebrated it while he was alive, man. He did his thing. And he set a good example, too. Like, I don't remember his name being in no bullshit either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we always got to give a shout out to black men whose name don't come up in scandal and shit, right?
He did live before social media, though. But no, I'm not. No, this ain't that show. But I'm just saying. But no, you're right, Kamar. And the one thing about it is his name will never be forgotten, right? Like the whole trajectory of his family is different now because of who he was, right? And so
Yeah,
he'll never be forgotten, man. And you
yeah,
think,
he
well, I'm
did.
just an
Right.
entertainer, I can't make any impact, but you'd be surprised what you could do when you push yourself. Rest in peace to Harry Belafonte, man.
Right.
Another one gone. Like when we say those, like when I was young, there was the black kind of like royalty. There was Cicely Tyson, there was
Right.
Sidney Poitier, there was Bill Cosby, there was a Harry Belafonte, and you didn't even know where you knew these black people from, but you just knew them.
The
Lola
husband and
Falana and all these
wives.
people. Say that again.
The husband and wife, was it Ruby D?
Yes, Ruby D and my
I was saying the
man
husband and wife. Who's that? Like Ruby D? I think.
Ruby D was the wife. The
Damn, what's
husband
his
was what was his name? Black dude name. Dude from Do the Right. I mean, from
I,
Do the Right Thing.
with the mustache.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
know
who
his
you
Robert
talking
name.
about.
Harris.
No, he
No,
was
no,
big. He was a director. He directed the Uptown Saturday Nights. What's cuz old name, y'all? What's Ruby D
God
husband
damn.
name? Right?
I was as soon as I said Ruby D, it slipped my mind. I had both of them.
Yeah, we've had those right pair. Jim Kelly, Muhammad Ali. Like those are the
Ah, come
black,
on now,
like right,
man.
our Mount Rushmore. So and he was on that.
Jim Kelly,
Yeah, man.
man.
Come on, man. Come on. Jim
Straight out of a
Brown.
comic
Shit.
book. Shit.
Jim
Yeah.
Ozzie Davis was his
Fred
name.
Williamson.
Ozzie Davis was Ruby D's husband. He was
That's
a
what it
great
is.
actor.
Yep.
And
I
another one of
appreciate
these
that.
brothers who never did the shuffle, shuffle, shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He said, "Nah, you know what? I'm good. Do for
He
self."
played in a lot of prominent roles too.
And
Man,
directed
yeah.
behind the scenes, did a lot of
I was
things.
just
Man.
talking about the movie. I want to say Get on the Bus. Wasn't he on that movie?
Yes, he was a
Wasn't
he
he
was a
the elder
staple
on
of
the
Spike
bus?
Lee. Yeah.
I
Yeah, he
think
was
he
the
was
elder.
with I had to read a book back in the day for Gordon Parks. I think they was like
It was buddies.
friends.
Gordon
Yeah.
Parks directed Shaft. His son directed Superfly.
Okay.
And so, at that
Man,
time, you
that's
had a
fly.
lot of black actors who were directing some of those
Doing for
blockbuster
self.
films.
Look.
Yeah, do for self, man.
There you
That's
go.
what it is. That's what it is. That's how we flow. That's how we flow, man. Well, Dion, I understand what Bill is now, and I know I remember Pound Cake, right, and all that. What he said later. I'm saying, growing up, he was one of those black Uber celebrities. We didn't know it was going to turn out the way it did. You know what I mean? Like, we loved Marvin Gaye, but we didn't know nothing about him wearing lingerie or nothing like that. I'm saying so. Yeah, it happened, people.
Man, I didn't know that shit.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
thought that was the Freddie Jackson or something like that.
Well, see, first of all, we don't know about Brother
Another
Fred
one.
too, so you know what I mean. But
There's another.
right here we go. So yeah, man, it's important, man. And the saddest part is that you lose yet again another individual who can actually talk about what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
What, like, you could say to him, so what was Martin Luther King like? You say, oh man, Martin, man. Or compared to Malcolm, what was Martin like? Oh, well, the difference between the two was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, just to put a cap on this, if you love hip hop, I'm here to tell you, you have Harry Belafonte to thank for Beat Street. He produced and directed it, and his son was the lead. The brother have you ever seen Beat Street? Which, by the way, is my favorite hip hop movie of all time. Like, breaking over everything, over Crush Groove.
Oh, okay.
Beat Street is the best hip hop, especially
with Ray Don Chung.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1984.
You know, I've seen pieces of. I just see the dance battles. I ain't never sat down and watched the whole thing.
Gotta watch the whole movie. It's a classic. It's
it's better than Crush Groove.
Oh, it's better than Crush Groove. Crush Groove was the shit because it was the first time we seen all our favorite rappers in a movie and was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was cool, but Beat Street had a story. It was about these kids. And it was about the beginning of hip hop going from the block to the clubs, like to making records. Like to get into, like the sounds transitioning. Of course, Crush Groove was all about now we got albums. Now we selling records.
Okay.
Getting money.
Right. But Beat Street was more about where it came from. Like the dude who's the producer, and you talk about Spit and you talk about Ramon, and And I will always say I love the message by Melly Mel, but Beach Street was better than the message. It should have been called the message too. That song, oh my goodness, Beach Street Breakdown. Melly Mel snaps on there. And when you listen to it, you got to remember it's 1983 when he's talking. I'm just
Okay.
telling you that, right?
Yeah.
So if you listen to it, you say, damn, this dude is spitting. It's Melly Mel, man. So this
Oh,
is
okay.
like,
So yeah, that
yeah,
came out the year I was born then. Cause I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Crush
yeah, yeah.
Groove came out what 80,
85,
80
86.
86, something
Yeah,
like that.
80,
Yeah, okay.
85, 86. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, I love Crush Groove too, but I see when we came up, we had Breaking, we had
Uh-huh.
what was the other one?
Breaking Two,
Mario
Electric
Van
Boogaloo.
Peebles was in. It was horrible. Rapping. He
Yeah,
was in
rapping. That
rapping.
sucks.
It was horrible. B Street was the only real thing, and then Crush Groove came, and it was like, okay, that's a little bit better. And then for all you hip hop heads, Tougher Than Leather, with Run DMC came after that. So come on, man, this is my childhood. Like so I know, but yeah, man, Harry
Was Tougher
Belafonte,
Than Leather,
man.
was that a movie or more of like a concert on VHS like the
No, it
show?
was a movie. It
Oh,
was a
okay.
whole movie with Run DMC, and they was fighting crime.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
forget all about Tougher Than Leather, man.
Yeah, I
It
ain't
was a
never heard of
holy
that one.
movie.
Yeah, they went to war against some like mobsters or some dope dealers or something because they guy OD'd and all
Wow.
this kind of wild shit. It was
Well, you gotta
Okay.
remember. Hey, you gotta remember too, like back in the day, hip hop was about saving the community. It was about upliftment of the community.
So,
So that
so
wasn't far fetched.
So it sounds like kind of like a '80s black exploitation. We're taking out
no,
the dope peddlers and stuff like that.
no. It was done. It wasn't even done black exploitation styles. The 80s they had
Uh,
great cameras. I think Rick Rubin they it was all the classic
oh, okay.
hip-hop
So like
dudes. They
a
directed it.
hip hop lethal weapon or some shit.
Yeah, it was a
It was
real
more
movie.
like it was more like
New Jack
how can I
City.
describe this? It's more like Ghostbusters with no ghosts, right? Like because it was Run, D, and J, and you just gotta see it. You gotta see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
You gotta see it.
So Beat Street and Tougher Than Leather. Okay, I'm gonna have to
B
break
Street
out
and
one of my
Tougher Than
five
Leather,
sticks.
two of the most classic hip hop movies, right? That you now you go see Breaking 1, 2, and 3, Electric Boogaloo, and all that shit. You like, I mean, they was breakdancing. Was like,
I like Electric Boogaloo, man. You know?
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. It's
They
a
got
whole
that
different.
Den Dada song on that shit. You know, I don't know what the real
Yeah.
name of it is, but that song still go hard, man.
Yeah.
Right. Da, da, da.
Okay, right.
That shit still go hard, man.
He remember one song and like that was a good ass movie. No, it wasn't.
No, but I like that song and the Puerto Rican.
No, Breaking
Girlfriend
got
Turbo
kind of
and shit.
corny. After the first one, it got kind of corny, and it was for the money because it made so much money. They hurry up and threw some other movies together, and it was kind of like, Turbo chasing Puerto Rican girls and shit like that. And, yeah,
the cast and shit. Yeah,
right. Yeah, he even broke his leg and fell down all the steps in L.A. So I
she
seen
was
the
cute
shit.
at the time though. But you know what? Real talk. Me and my lady, cause my lady into fashion and shit, and fashion kind of going back towards that house music style type shit.
Yeah.
So I was playing like Lisa and Coat Jam or Connie, or all that old. It used to be on Hot 102, like the Puerto Rican house dance music and shit.
It's like electronic music. It's
Right.
It's
But
New York club music.
That's coming back around now, man. I guess
Well,
in the fashion scene.
you got Afro beats that's coming now. There's a flair. There's a taste for the flair of some foreign sounds, right? Because people are tired of the same driving do hip hop 808.
Right,
like
right.
Tim's and all these Afro beats. They're coming because people like that Caribbean flair.
Congas
They
and
kind of
shit.
mix in like the Rasta. It sounds a little Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tim's. To tell you the truth,
That shit used to be
They
fly,
should
man.
go.
I used to love Lisa Coat Jam and shit.
Yeah, but that's produced by Full Force though, so it's not
Dude,
really Latino though.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever seen Full Force. They ain't Puerto Ricans.
Right. I didn't know he was spitting out so much talent. Like MC Light said, Full Force Daddy, helped her develop her voice and shit like that.
I mean, look, man, you gotta.
They was writing for him and stuff.
It's an album, not a 45, man. Our hand in music and culture and entertainment goes way further than anybody else would think of. Right. It's Monday. I mean, it's Wednesday, and the Bucks are on their last leg. I'm not watching the game, so shout out to the people who are tuning in to us as opposed to watching the game. You know, I'm impartial from it, but I am from Wisconsin, so I don't want their season to end tonight. But I feel like there's a lot to learn in losing. I feel like when you're
Always.
supposed to be something or you're hyped up to do something and you lose, there's a lesson to be learned, right?
Always.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I say, man, I am actually a real football guy, right? But I'm also a Wisconsinite. So we know the biggest news is Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And on the surface, people say, first of all, some people say I don't give a shit because they don't care about football or Aaron Rodgers or the Packers. I happen to care. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I look at the Aaron Rodgers situation a little bit differently because we have a guy who makes $50 million a year in one of the poor states. In particular, like when we look up from Milwaukee and see that the average median income for a black family in this city is $30,000 a year, and I am rounding up, right? The average white median income is $60,000 a year. He makes $50 million a year to play football, right? And his thing is, I'm gonna go into a cave and see if I still won't play. Y'all convince me to come back for $50 more million. You know, and when I look around our community and see the state that it's in, and then on the tails of that, what I was going to talk about tonight is the city of Milwaukee is claiming that they're broke. A $150 million deficit in their budget. They're talking about
Wow.
doomsday scenarios in terms of cutting police, firefighters, shutting down libraries, this, that, and the third. We'll get into that. But when I compare these things and I look at him and I say, motherfucker, you damn near 40. You're 39. Nothing wrong with being 40, but your best football days are behind you. Tom Brady got to 43. I heard some sportscasters saying, don't expect that again. That's the anomaly. And I truly support that, especially with football. But we just watched you shit on yourself in the playoffs. It's not you can say Green Bay didn't do this or do that, but you had stacked teams where you was 15-1, the number one seed, home field advantage, and you came out and stunk up the place. So people, other football fans, and believe me, other football supporters love to hate Green Bay. I don't know what it is about wherever you go. Now, there's a lot of Packer fans, but like there's a lot of people, even who live in Milwaukee, who hate the Packers. Like, oh, y'all finna be losing, da 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 da. So everybody
Damn.
feels some kind of way about it. I don't give a shit. As a matter of fact, I'm here to say goodbye, Aaron Rodgers, because we have a black quarterback now. Good, bad, or indifferent. Do for self. Here's a young black brother who gets his opportunity. If he swing and he miss, hire your ass, fire your ass. But I don't think we should give Aaron Rodgers any kind of, I wish they didn't trade you. I'm saying good riddance. It's one of those things where if you want to move, that's fine. But I just need for you to get the fuck on and move. Stop talking about it. You're holding up progress. So fuck Aaron Rodgers. I guess that's what I want to say. And I don't care if they don't win. They've won for so long. Look, they've won for so long. It's like, okay, a couple down years. As long as we don't go into a tailspin like we did from, Vince Lombardi to the 90s, where it's like 20 years where they were shitty. And even if they did, it's not the end of the world. It's just a game. You know what I'm saying? You watch for the highs and the lows. That's what you watch for. I know neither one of you guys are really sports guys, but do y'all have any thoughts on Aaron Rodgers?
I do football, man. I'm big on
I
football.
forgot, yeah, you're a football player too.
Yeah, I just feel like shit, man. That's this sports. I mean, players move. You look at all the top quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, at the end of their career, I mean, it's almost senseless for a team to try to keep them, you know what I mean? So they move. That's just part of the game. I don't understand why it's such a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as far as him getting as much money as he could, I mean, that's his job to do. He's supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just don't think it's no big deal. I'm excited to see what's finna happen for the Packers. I've been a Packer fan since Lynn Dickey now. You know what I'm saying? With quarterback. The original number 12. You know what I'm saying?
Randy Wright and shit. Blair Keel. Don Mikowski.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like I ain't worried about if they go on a rut. I mean, I still like the team. You know, so whether or not they go up or down from here, it has no impact on my life.
Right.
You know what I
It
mean?
ain't a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not a
So I'm
big
just
deal.
anxious to see what happens next. You know what I mean? But I
Right. I
am
want to see the
into it.
young brother go for his.
I'm
Yeah, that'd be
excited that
dope.
they got these picks. You know what I mean? Got the extra picks to go with the team. So I want to see where they're going with it. You know, I think that's a part of sports. You know what I mean? Like the ups and downs of your favorite teams. Like
Yeah,
this is
man.
what happens.
Yeah, man. You know, bye bye, Aaron. Bye bye. Well, I know you don't care about football, but I mean, you know.
No. I mean, I just see it just like Kamar said. I mean, shit, he don't got too many years left, so he gotta try to get as much bread as he can, you know.
Well, it
And
wasn't
then
really about money though, because he's been one of the highest paid quarterbacks for the last 15 years. Before he got to this 50, he was making 25, $30 million a year for a very long time.
So, you know, so for the player, the objective is to get as much money as you can and to win as much as you can. You know what I mean? So
In
that's
that
that's
order.
in that order. I don't care if
I
it's
mean
your
now
last year. You know what I'm saying?
now that it's a black
That's the
quarterback,
goal.
I might be more inclined to watch, you know, just to see the young brother do his thing.
And Jordan Love
Right.
is a brother. He's a young brother.
I think he's gonna do good. And I'm gonna tell you, hey, dig this perspective, kid. I don't think the Packers would have been willing to eat that $40 million ticket, you know what I mean, if they didn't think Jordan Love was right. I feel like they'd have tried to keep Aaron Rodgers.
I think
Or
it was
we'd have
out of their
seen them making
hands.
moves. We'd have seen them making moves at quarterback already if they didn't like what they were seeing, I think.
Well, Jordan Love was the move they made. He just
Yeah, but I
wasn't
mean,
ready early.
but what I'm saying is like, okay, they have 4 years. If they didn't like the direction he was going in, I feel like they'd have been trying to bust more moves. Like, let's bring some more quarterbacks in and see if they could beat him out.
Yeah, you could say that, but I think that they were more committed because they re-upped on him last year and gave him 50 and said, "No, we'll make you the highest paid dude in
Well,
the
yeah,
league."
I'm talking about
Because
Jordan
Jordan
Love.
wasn't ready. Jordan Love wasn't ready yet. You know,
Right.
so but you know, I just think his ego and what becomes of a person when you give them that much money for that long, they become what he is, right? And so you know, he go to New York, man, to the bright lights of the big city. They
You
say,
know,
what's my man say? They say the neon lights are bright on Broad. Shout out to George Benson, man. I love you.
a lot of people didn't like that controversy too. So a lot of people probably ain't sad to see him go. You know, some people didn't like it because of what was it like about the jab or some shit like that?
All kinds of
Yeah.
shit, man.
It was all kind of shit.
This
You
dude
see
has
Don
become
Lemons
Yeah,
fired.
he said, hey, when he said he was immunized.
right. Yeah, right. Ryan
Hey, he
ass.
didn't lie to nobody.
But
You know what I
shit,
mean?
the real talk. Now
Motherfuckers
they
was
said,
mad. Hey, motherfuckers was mad at him because he used the word. He played the word game.
yeah, he said I'm immunized. Nah, was
and
really
trickier. Every motherfucker just thought, and they just assumed
right.
he was
He
vaccinated.
became the most arrogant, asinine white dude in the world over the last 4 years. And
It
you know
was
the people
funny.
in Green Bay is like asshole. You know, he's just but y'all made him this. Like he earned it. He's a great football player, but come on, man. Like it's time to go. It's time. Like you need at a certain point, like Kamar, you and I just discussed before the show. Sometimes you got to pull back. So I got to change some shit. Got to trim some fat.
Mhm.
My chat room is popping. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Jesse said Tariq Nasheed is working on a hip hop documentary. He's setting the record straight about who started hip hop. Tariq Nasheed has a dope ass black museum in LA. It's popping out there, man. Got a dope ass museum just dedicated to blacks, foundational blacks. Dion said all Wisconsin teams are trash. It is what it is. I hate the Badgers, but other than that, I'm pretty much a supporter of everybody.
I gotta get I like them colors though. I still want to get a Badger sweatsuit.
Yeah, I don't fuck with no Badgers. Fuck the Badgers. And fuck
I
Madison.
feel
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers being traded to the New York Jets? We were just talking about that. Shout out to Shane Kruma. Tall Tim Pops, greetings from the concrete, my brother. Ruben Anderson, welcome to the show. What's going on, my brother? He said, "What's good? What's good? What's good?
Peace,
What's good?"
peace.
Agreed. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Tall Tim says, at the end of the day, it's just business. That's all it is, my brother. It's all business. And if you take it personal, then that shows you're not a businessman. He said he had that natural immunity. talking
Hey,
about Aaron
now the
Rodgers.
science caught up and they agree that natural immunity is at the very least equal to being double jabbed.
Well, he wasn't
So,
wrong. He wasn't wrong.
right
He
now,
wasn't
we never
wrong,
was
but he
wrong.
played the shit out of
And
y'all, but he wasn't wrong.
and the crazy
Right.
thing is, Don
And
Lemon
really, he
used to
didn't play
shit on
nobody.
people about choosing
Well,
natural immunity.
he did in the instance that he actually said that, and then he came down with COVID and fucking shut the whole team down and the whole facility down. So he did kind of play him, right? See, bullshit like that is
He
like,
used the right word. Remember, I
right.
said that on the show.
Yeah,
I said that
that
on the show.
wordplay.
He
You
used the
gotta
right
remember.
word. Just everybody else just
Right.
took that shit and
They
ran with it.
assumed it. They assumed
Lawyers do it every day, you know.
it. Right,
Yeah.
right. It's called semantics.
Yeah.
Rosalind,
Right,
Dion
right.
says Tariq is garbage. I dig
Damn,
Tariq
for real.
sometimes. You know what? I have
those
a
Hidden Colors documentaries and
yeah.
the hidden history of Haiti about the Haitian Revolution.
I dig some of the stuff Tariq says, some of the stances he's taken. Some of it's,
Yeah.
once again we say where it applies, you take it. Where
Right.
it doesn't, you just kind of move past it.
Eat
I'm
the
not
meat,
like
spit the bone.
I'm not like a 100% like, yeah, Tariq. But what he done with that hotel in LA is dope as shit. And I watch him on YouTube. The Hidden History Museum. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we talk about do for self, man. Do for self. What does do for self mean? What does do for self mean? What is it all about? What's the conceptualization of the realization? Right? I don't have any other zation words to go. Ran. I thought I had more. So black entrepreneurship in this country is up, I think about 30%. We talk about post-pandemic America where things have changed. We talk about a situation now where I look at inflation is fucking ridiculous. You go to McDonald's and get a value meal, the shit's $10. That's not a value. What the fuck?
Right.
And the patty is smaller now than it was when you sold a meal for $3.99.
Right.
And the problem with this shit.
Give you less and charge you more.
Yeah, it's to the point. I think COVID. The one thing about the pandemic that it showed us is that you really can't overly rely on anything. You got to have a bunch of tools in your toolbox, because this, that, or whatever could collapse at any fucking time, right?
Right.
And in the words of Macho Man Randy Savage, what are you gonna do? Or that's Hulk Hogan. What are you gonna do?
That's Hulk,
brother? Right? In the words of Hulk Hogan. And
Right.
so I think people figured out a way to do something, I just create stuff and say, and in particular in the black community, and that's really what's stagnating the economy right now, is that people, companies, places, businesses didn't get employees back like they thought they would. So location struggle because you don't have the assets to run it no more. And so where are those people at? They ain't all selling crack. People out here got hustles. Now I look at Instagram all the time. One thing, I don't like Instagram because I feel like Instagram is a place where celebrities go to floss, right? To show you their incredible lives and shit. Shout out to if you got your, I know Kamar, you're on there. And I love the way you promote Nature's Nature and whatnot. But I'm saying, if by and large, Instagram is for celebrities, because they have millions of followers. They are the ones who you fuck around and pop up with, oh, I'm flat belly tea now. Oh, I'm promoting this. Like celebrities be on the low pushing shit on you, right? And they get endorsements, right? Oh, I'm an influencer. All you're really doing is showing people you're doing advertising. You're showing millions of people somebody's product and endorsing it.
Genius.
Right. Well, it's the smoothest. It's marketing. It's
right.
It punches advertising companies in their goddamn stomach.
Yep.
It punched the corporate America's bong by it, because people's spending habits change. Right? Where you used to be loyal to this or that, now it's more centralized. That's what I'm saying about my conscious clothing thing that's coming is, why would I spend a whole bunch of money on theirs when I can get quality materials and make my own? Right? That's doing for self. I'm looking at the city right now, and I think we're just kind of waiting on our mayor or our county executive, because they're black men, to do something miraculous. Oh, I just passed the all niggas is free day, starting next Tuesday, and we gonna dance in the street and celebrate our freedom. Ain't gonna happen. We're looking for them to come with some kind of progressive program, some real solid natural leadership to come in and say, look, I'm going to set this community up. I'm going to do it right. And we're going to build ourselves up. It's not going to happen. It's not coming from them. It won't come from them. It has to come from us. Right. So we start talking about what the fuck we going to do in our communities. I'll tell you one thing that I know for sure. I don't know what we're going to do, but I know what ain't nobody else going to do, which is save our asses. Right.
Right.
So that's one definite. I can look at the situation and say, I don't know what we're going to do, but we better do something, because they're not going to do shit. If you understand that it's a conflict of interest for the state of Wisconsin, which really their incarceration, the Department of Correction is a money-making home run hitter. They will throw a new Supermax jail together and not have niggas in it for 15 years because they know.
How about this? How about this perspective? Don't expect nobody to do shit. Don't expect your friends to do shit. Don't expect your family to support you. Don't expect nothing from nobody. Go get what you got to get. You know what I mean? It's a whole globe of people out here that's waiting to support somebody. You know what I'm saying? That they don't know. Find them. Social media. Keep posting your shit. Keep posting your shit. I made a post a few weeks ago. Post your business like your life depended on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody gonna see it that need to see it.
That American maroon.
But get your shit. Do for yourself. Don't expect nobody to be there for you. Don't expect nobody to lend no helping hand. Don't expect no grants, no nothing. Get out here on your grind and make it happen.
Everybody has a different style. Like I just told y'all Monday night, right? And so we full disclosure on the show. I feel like I can talk to y'all, right? Y'all ain't gonna tell nobody. Share the show, by the way. Share the show. I was feeling a certain way about a bunch of different shit. And sometimes when you got a lot of shit going, you just got to sit down and say, all right, let me, whoa, boom, right? Because I got to figure this out. But at one point, was I tempted to get on Facebook and say, feeling some kind of way, y'all. Fuck everybody. They done let me down. I beat one of you bitch ass niggas' asses. Nobody's ever loved me. I'm a whole new me on Monday. You never, that's somebody's style. It's not mine.
Right.
I kind of wanted to, this might sound bad. I kind of wanted to wallow in it. It was a mess. I kind of wanted to just lay in it and just say, let me wade in this mess. And so it was personal for me to do it. To say what Kamar just said was what I ended up coming to conclusion. You shouldn't expect nobody to do nothing for you. You should be making sure you're doing all that you can for yourself.
Right.
And not worrying about them. You know what I mean? And so once that kind of realization came, I said, I think this applies to our community at large, because I feel like there's a sense of, okay, well, what they gonna do? When they gonna do something for us? Never. That's the answer.
Ever.
They're never gonna do anything for you. They're going to do what they have to do for themselves, because every decision that they make, and I'm talking about the powers that be, is to benefit themselves and further empower themselves. So why would you think that there's something in it for you? Now, if you happen to receive any benefits, God bless it. And thank you, Lord.
Right.
But they say, God bless the child who has his own, right? And so do for self for us. And I know there's a basis in it with, Islam and the black Muslims in America. This was a credence of theirs to say way back in the days, do for self. Our own enterprises are just here staring us in the face like this. How do we ever become victims and label whores? We set the trends. Most of these companies wouldn't have any kind of flavor, and they're not taking something from us and our influence. Foundational Black Americans, I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay. Our style makes other people, because we are the ones who say, you know what? I wear a brightly colored tennis shoe. White people by nature don't even really dress with that same kind of flair that we do. We use colors in a different way. We look at color palettes way different than them. Okay. And so I'm saying all that to say we should never be customers of any of them. They should be our customers. Those things that we design, those things that we come in and reinvent and innovate, we should be able to own that right away and then sell it back to them.
Right.
Oh, you like our shit? But instead we go to them and say, I need you to help me get this over. And they end up making way more than you ever would off of it and owning your shit. So that mantra of do for self, right? I look around Milwaukee and I think one of the biggest disparities that we have is representation media wise. Look at all our television stations. This is the most black anchors, newscasters, reporters that we've had in Milwaukee. And I've been here my whole life. It's the most that we had, and it still ain't enough. Look at the major media outlets. Done on a whole different level. We got one or two. Why? Because a lot of us is still listening to theirs instead of putting into ours to say, well, let's have our own media. Why are we listening to them? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you listen to V100, you're stupid. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm just going to keep it a buck, right? Guess I'll never be on with Reggie Brown, but it is what it is. If you think iHeartMedia gives a shit about us, you are a fool and you're naive. Show me what they do in the community. People say, well, they got this program. Well, I seen they get a scholarship. What they do. Every day you turn on that radio station, you're going to hear the most negative of negativist reinforcement for us, our young people. We're not listening to it, but the kids are impressed by this. This is what they're on the internet watching. So that station don't give a shit about us. They used our music. I tell you what, you got a small black business, call V100 right now and ask them how much they'll charge you to get you to promote your shit on the air. They gonna knock the stuffing completely out your Egg McMuffin. If you ain't for us, I'm not fucking with you. That's my mantra. 98.3 ain't that much different. It's not that much different. The Journal Sentinel don't give a shit about you. That's why you'll never see me. I used to buy it all the time. You'll never see me buy that shit. You got what, 1-2 black reporters? And they saddle with telling all the black shit. Now we talk about the Courier and those kinds of things. I have some issues with that too, but I can respect it because it's black owned and there's black people working, right? So it's more important than ever that we do for self. Dion made a point. Cars are expensive. Right now, if you're in the market to buy a car, whoa, your roller coaster. Because back in the days, mileage meant something. Like the higher the mileage, the cheaper the car. Not no more. You go look for a new Chevy pickup. That son bitch got 76,000 miles. They want $50,000 for it. 86,000 miles. Give me 65. What? Shit's up there. Everything's expensive, though. Everything's expensive. But you're right, Dion. COVID fucks shit up. Now, both of you brothers I know y'all kind of rock with me on the do for self thing. And Kamar, I really want to get your spin on this because you have truly kind of embraced this thing about I'm gonna do for me. I'm gonna do for self. I'm not because you could easily be running around like oh, if I got a felony, can't get a job. So when I say do for self to you, what does that mean?
Well, first of all, I think a lot of us forget that we got that God energy in us, right? So we got to understand we could do anything we want to do. You know, a lot of the time we tend to let other people into our thoughts and ideas and they fuck us up on our own shit, you know. But like with me, I got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm tired of running this race. I'm tired of chasing these checks, paychecks after paychecks. I felt like I'm going to work and I'm hoping these people let me keep my job. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like that helpless feeling. So I just felt like, you know what? I got to take charge of my own shit. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just, I don't think it was even just me saying I need to do that. I need to go for self on this thing. It was just something that just happened because I stumbled off into the herbs and I was at my job selling detoxes to the people at the job, right? But anyway, I got to a point where it's like, you know what? I'm tired of reaching out for help. I grew up, you know, the only child, so I never had no brothers, no sisters. I had people that was close to me and some friends and shit like that. But you know what I mean? So being the only child, you know, I was taught to look out for myself, make sure I'm straight no matter what. You know what I mean? Now, in my older years, I take it into the whole life thing. Well, I got kids now, and I got to do for myself. If I don't do for myself, my kids gonna have it hard out here. I got to create some shit to leave some shit, and you know what I mean. So my kids don't grow up looking for help. You know what I mean? So they don't grow up with their hands out, hoping somebody gonna help them, hoping somebody gonna help them get to this next level. You know, it's more than just me. You know, it's more than just my kid. It's people in the community. I want the whole community to thrive. I want the whole community to see what I'm doing, see where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And I'm more than willing to tell my story to anybody or even teach on, you know what I mean, how to go this direction. But yeah, man, going for self is what it's about. We get too caught up in the looking for help from the government, from anybody. You know, and we can do anything, man. Like I say, we got that God energy in us. We can transform energy also.
Well, I know you're one of those who believe in this edict too. I know you're just kind of like, yeah, man, that's what because I've heard you talk about being in a situation where you said, I got to extend my arms. I got to get my hands in different places. So we start talking about do for self because there's many different perspectives to it, but I just want to kind of get yours as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, Phil. So for me, it's always been like the crazy thing is prior to COVID, I had COVID for most people was their aha moment. My aha moment was in 2016 when I lost a job making $32.50 an hour. I was in IT. You know what I'm saying? That was my my aha moment when I went from fixing motherfuckers' issues over the phone for $32.50 an hour to hustling with it, hustling whatever I could hustle, even using my IT skills to flip fire sticks back when you could pop them motherfuckers off for like $150 a stick. You know what I'm saying? So that was my awakening on I can never depend on a job to just be my everything, because I thought I was set for life with that job. I finally got a good job. I can get rid of that. You just the ailment away from being replaced.
Yeah.
So that's what it showed me in 2016. Thankfully, I got my health back on track. But I never hit that $32.50 an hour again, and I was seeing that shit back in 2010 when $32.50 meant something. That's how I got my house. But thankfully, I bust the moves I needed to bust because I've always been a person who I don't like asking other people for favors. I don't like asking people for help. I'm a Capricorn rising, so it's all about the safety in achievement. You trying to get as far away from the bottom as possible because you understand that shit. You want to put as many safety nets between you and the bottom as possible. So I've always been a person that I used to listen to one of the radio stations, and they used to have financial people come on, and they was like, you're not okay unless you got 6 months worth of being able to take care of your bills if something happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. The average middle class family got at least 3. So those were things I always considered. And then also me not liking to follow people's rules. I understand that you can't ever bite the hand that feeds you. So you can't fight a system that you depend on. So right. I've never wanted to be dependent on that system because then I have to obey everything they try to say type shit. So that's why I've always been after this thing called sovereignty, ever since 2016 when I seen how you're only a circumstance away from not being able to support yourself or your family, and the job is just going to keep on moving.
Right. And I want to talk about that aspect of when we talk about jobs. Tiasha says good evening. Tiasha, I got to get you your hoodie.
Peace.
I'm so bad. I was supposed to bring it to you this weekend. I totally slipped my mind. Kamar, she says she needs a magic potion. She says she's fighting a cold since last week. You need some elderberry. What you got for her?
Yeah.
You got my number. If you got my number, call me. I'll put it in the chat room. Can I?
I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
Well, I was
41
trying to see if I could do it from the laptop. I probably
Like,
have to go to
but
my
even
phone.
I can do you a solid. 414-949-2122, Tiarsha. 414-949-2122. Because you had Kamari fuck around, cut everybody block power off on the block trying to put it back. Man, damn, I ain't know what this button's for. You know, whole show, like the whole show shut down. Kamari, how he even do it from over there? Like when he picked up his phone, I was like, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. I might as well just get a number. And the number to the show is 262-202-51. 262-202-51. It's Outlaw Radio, do for self on a Wednesday night. Playoff of possibly the last game of the season for the Bucks. Oh shit. Let me see what else we got in this chat room. She said I love Tiarsha said she's loved the Fat Boys. It was super funny in Crush Groove. And I didn't want to leave out Disorderlies, which was a big moment for hip hop cinematically too, but it wasn't a real good movie. I mean, I was talking in quality, but I should throw that out there too, that they did do Disorderlies because the Fat Boys had a real run.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, Disorderlies was a decent movie too, though. Like that was really a movie. It was more of a comedy, but it was
like Three
movie.
Stooges type.
It wasn't cheaply done.
It was a big production. It was.
Yeah.
It was a big. That's why I had to put it in there because I'm like, it's kind of this disrespectful to leave it out because it was a big moment for hip hop, and it was another moment that put because they was doing commercials. The Fat Boys was over at one point.
Yeah.
They was over. And I'm telling you, I listen to Rock the Bells, man.
They had the
and they play all of that shit. They play Can You Feel It and all that shit. And I'm like,
that
whoa.
shit right there.
Yeah. Dion says he don't listen to V100. He said he listens to the truth, but they be on flaky shit. You know what? I could say a lot of things about the truth, but I'm not gonna say nothing about the truth because I think they're the same. I think they're the same as V100. I think that the fact that they even say, hey, we have a black station is kind of like, what do you call it? It's kind of like it's real, but it's not real, right? Because it's a show that they've said, okay, we're going to put some money into the black perspective. But I don't see the diversity in programming that would tell me that. I don't see when I look at their programming, and it's been the same for 3-4 years now, I don't see the reinvestment in the community because there's so many people out here who could rip the shit out of a show on that station, right? And it would grow their audience. It would grow support. I'm just saying, I don't listen to them either. I don't listen to them. Tiarsha said Mr. Robert Thomas was the owner of the Fox Trap and the Milwaukee Community Journal. He was taken away today at Golden Gate. They are having a few more days. He did pass away. Yes, he did. He did. A pioneer. Because just by him coming up with his own thing is the ultimate. And see, that's what I'm saying. Something like that, whatever issues I would like the Community Journal or the Courier, I would reserve all comments. I wouldn't even say nothing because they are black, figures in this community, and they were created by us. It's the ultimate story of do for self. Let's tell our own stories. It's a shame that they weren't bigger, but I think sometimes those old businesses and those old franchises don't really embrace today. And so you like the truth. Eventually, it's like what happened with 1290. Same lineup for 20 years, no real diversification, no real investment in the community, and what happened to them? But they came Martini Radio. I don't even think it ain't even no radio station in there now. We need to try to get in there and get that big ass tower. Tiarsha says same here. I was a team lead in hazardous waste certified at Capital Returns. It was a pharmaceutical waste company on Port Washington. I thought I'd be there forever, but after I was there for 15 years, they ended up selling the company. Time to go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
And they have no remorse, man. I was at AT&T and shit. They have us bust our ass to develop all kinds of processes, procedures, and new software, and then they send that shit over to the Philippines and shit. Have us on some other punk shit.
Mr. Valentine, I'd like to walk you to your car. She said, Kamar, inbox me your number. We are friends on Facebook. Okay. Inbox her, Kamar. Hit her up. That's Tiarsha. Disorderlies was a comedy. Yes, it was. He said, "Can you feel it?" My favorite song by the Fat Boys. Well, the Fat Boys are back. Because I'm telling you, I was a youngster, so I know a lot of their music just because we grew up with this. But yeah, no, in terms of a job, let me tell you something. I learned a long time ago. I learned this a very long time ago, actually, that a job is never, especially in the days and times that we live in now, it's never permanent. Like our parents, came up and I worked 45 years for Falk. I worked 30 years at Slits. That's an anomaly nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I've had good jobs and I thought like, okay, I'm cool for a minute and the rug was snatched out from under me. Before I even really got to get, I was getting there like, okay, this is cool. I'm digging this. And it was like, boom. So the one thing I know is a job can be gone any day. Now, when I say do for self, what that means is when this situation happens, how prepared am I? Do I have a resume? Do I have a cover letter? Do I have documentation of my achievements? Do I have education? I do. Do I have certifications? I do. So the do for self part is making sure I'm prepared to be able to receive another job, right? And so, yeah, you say, damn, I thought I was going to be there forever. And it's hard, but I'll tell you what I did. When I did take a hit from losing a good job, and I said, I'm trying to match this pay or increase it, and I couldn't find it, I took something that paid me way less. Because the important thing was you don't own a business. You don't have those multiple streams of income. Don't expect nobody to feel sorry for you. Nobody cares. Get on that. Look, no internet at the time, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. My big ass was in the library. Had a whole library card, 40-something years old, up in there like, doop, chiming in until my shit got right. That's do for self as well. Saying I got to be prepared to confront whatever comes. So if you work, like Kamar said, it's more important that you save. Because this motherfucker could be gone any minute. Now, shout out to all my brothers and sisters who were on the job for 15, 16 years working, and the company lost, the company left, and they looked and said, but I got X amount in my 401k. Because you also have the option to do that. And say, shit, I'm cool. I'm gonna take half of this, and I can chill.
They gonna penalize the shit out of it.
They will. You gotta pay to play, or you can just leave it there and be broke. I don't know.
Right.
You. Shout out to Vince Stoney, man. He said it's impossible for everyone to have their own business. It is impossible. Personally, I've always worked for an entity or a business. I've never contemplated owning my own business. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. And that's why when I said do for self, it doesn't just involve, okay, I'm going to go and start me a business. It could be just as simple as saying, okay, I have a good job. Let me manage my money and save it. Right. That's doing for self as well. So we always say different.
And it ain't impossible for everybody to have their own business because it's like this. The issue is, since everybody is forced to get into a job position, sometimes we grab a job position doing something we hate, but it pays the bills. But there's people, okay, so my guy, he like going to detail cars. Like, he be like, hey, let me take your car and get a detail, shit like that. And it's like, damn, you really like doing that shit, huh, G? So it's like, it's just creativity, learning how to take something you love and find a way to monetize it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not impossible.
That's it.
Now I'm not saying that everybody should be business owners because everybody ain't a boss. Everybody ain't that. But it's not impossible. It just takes creativity, learning how, and everybody will be happier if we can find somebody to do the shit we don't like to do that actually enjoy doing it, whether it's cutting grass, whether it's doing taxes, bookkeeping. Hey, you can turn anything into a business. Yeah.
Hey, how about this, Real? A business, it could be as simple as selling bags of ice. You can make ice cubes and have a side hustle selling ice.
Right.
That's a business. You know what I mean? And work it as far as you can. Like, you may have a knack for selling people ice, but you know what I mean? But whatever it is, man, you know what I mean?
Or even
Real, like you said, all millionaires have 5 streams of income. There's 5 different businesses.
And it don't even have to look at it like this.
Well, maybe not all millionaires, but
I look at it like this. I'm a business. Even when I work for a job, I'm contracting my time to that job upon an agreement that we made. But As for I'm not an employee, I contracted my services to this employer. But then, what anybody who don't want to really run a business, everybody got a little bit extra that they probably go spend on fast food, anything like that. You a business if you put your money to work for you. Take them tools and fuse, learn some crypto or some stock or Forex or whatever the fuck.
I have to roll with Vince on this.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible for everybody to be a business owner at the same time. I'm saying, well, yeah, you could possibly be a business person. You could be an entrepreneur, but I think it's impossible for everybody to be an entrepreneur at the same time. And I said that because some people just don't have the capacity nor motivation to do
it. Entrepreneur, yeah, but not
right. It ain't impossible. It's the
because like stocks, that's business. Like anybody can learn stocks in their spare time and start trading.
You know what? It's a lot of people. There's not a lot of people who invest in stocks for a reason because it's complicated, and not everybody has the. They don't have the capacity to do it.
I get it, Kevin. That's just an example. I'm just using that as an example.
It just takes some education and being willing to put the effort in to learn.
Motherfuckers out here selling tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible, but I tell you what. Okay, so look, check this out. So we won't be running into, like I stated earlier, semantics.
It's impossible.
When I think of somebody running a business, I'm talking about somebody who's successfully running it, who's efficient at it, who knows how to do it. Who knows how to master inventory and weigh out profit margins and weigh out overhead and these kind of things, risk assessment.
I don't know how to do all this.
Everybody does not have the ability to do that. So it's like, I think we fuck up when we tell people it's not okay for you to have a job and just be cool with having a job. I feel like that's counterproductive.
And I'm definitely not saying that. What I'm saying is with your job, get some assets. Save and get some property. Save and learn stock. You spend it like motherfuckers buying Jordans, $300, $500 wigs. I know women who got a monthly bill to get their brows microbladed, they shit waxed, and their hair and lashes redid. Probably $500. Take 3 months of that shit and get an e-course of learning how to do some stocks. Some Forex, or whatever.
There's people who don't have the capacity to do an e-course, man. Like it's not in their wheelhouse. You gotta talk about it what it is.
Right, they will. That's what it is. It's a lack of will, creativity, and gumption, but it ain't a lack of possibility.
Well, that's like saying, well, leprechauns could possibly exist. Nobody's arguing, but goddamn, show me one. I mean, as you saying, if you say anything could happen. Anything can happen. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel.
Well, I'm just saying, like I feel like everybody can have some kind of business. I ain't saying whether it's some kind of big business, extravagant business. It could be a side hustle that turned into a small business while you working. Like,
or not even necessarily
podcast. It's a business.
It ain't gotta be like a hardcore business. Like I write books.
Everybody got something that they love to do, right? And if you sit and think hard enough, so whatever it is you love to do, it's some way you could monetize that love.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to keep that away from what they love
to
do. They like to say no. I met people who.
That's the problem.
I met people. Is it a problem because somebody says I don't even want to mix? I just love doing it. I don't want to get into all that trying to.
No, no problem.
Like I don't think that's bad.
No, it's not a problem. Just understand you have options and possibilities to expand your assets and streams of income.
That's definitely kind of uppity to me. That's how
it's just understand your
eyebrow Negroes. Like up Negroes, right? You should pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No, it ain't that. Just don't be
come on in. Bullshit. It is that. You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Do for self.
Kamar,
do yourself. It is that.
Kamar, I want you to repeat after me.
Goddamn, nigga. Kevin, it is that. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Because it's about do for self.
Yeah, but a lot of times
we steady giving excuses.
Pulling yourself up by your bootstraps doesn't necessarily mean like it's more than one way. Because for some people to really get a hold to a steady income is the way that they pull themselves up. as opposed to I started a business and pulled myself up. I
Well,
guess
yeah,
that's what
it's
I'm saying.
levels. I didn't just
More
Yeah.
I
one,
didn't
it's
just
more than
go
one way
right
to
into
skin a cat.
business.
Right.
So
I
you know,
pulled
I heard people
myself
say,
up by my bootstraps.
I see broke ass dudes talking about a worker marrying a fool. Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, well they some
Okay.
suckers. I ain't saying it's a bad thing to work a job because you know what I
Right,
mean.
right.
Your job can fuel your business.
There's people who are millionaires just off their career. I'm a millionaire because I do this. I don't do nothing else. I do this. I'm a
Shit,
millionaire.
some motherfucking astronauts. Or
Oh,
some
you got
shit.
lawyers. You
I
got
mean, yeah, I
you got
mean,
plumbers,
Hey,
electricians who say I'm a
okay.
plumber.
Now, in a
I just
sense,
plumb.
those lawyers, that's they business
see,
though,
but the
right?
thing
Well,
about
they don't all own their own firm. Some of them work for the same firm for 30
Well,
years.
and
well,
the bad thing about that is, like you said, there's motherfuckers that are millionaires that still decide to work for somebody that's still a tweet away from the broke house with their
Well, you ain't no
millions and shit
millionaire then. Well, you
because
shit. Yeah, well, it's a
you,
slippery
you know what I'm
slope.
saying? So it's like, so that's even more of a shame if them motherfuckers, while they getting their millions, ain't
Let me ask you this
invested
though,
into
Real.
development or some shit like that to where they,
Let me ask you
yeah,
this then.
yeah,
Even the richest entrepreneur, I don't care where you at in America, you always a tweet away from losing every goddamn thing. Listen,
yeah,
right now, people understand this. People who have invested money and they're saying, like y'all said, make my money work for me. If this market keeps falling and the value of a dollar keeps falling, they're gonna lose. So you a tweet away too. You one new unified front on the other side of the planet saying we ain't gonna use your currency no more, and your ass gonna have to trade in the beamer.
shit.
that's why you're
That's
supposed to
why
have
I've been
multiple
investing
streams
into
of income
Bitcoin.
too. But that's also why you have multiple streams of income, right? In case something don't work out right, you still got other shit going that's gonna keep you moving.
And
Most of us
and
is one injury away from being in the poorhouse. A motherfucker break
most
his leg,
definitely,
it's a
most
wrap. Like
definitely.
I lost my whole shit because I can't move.
Most definitely, that was a culture shock like a motherfucker going from 32.50 an hour to 12.50 an hour. 6 months later,
Goddamn
for
right.
for 6 months, I had to get that shit out the mud with whatever I could sell, and
Yeah.
then I was just happy to get back into the work environment. But I legit was making $20 an hour less than what I lost. So
Oh man, that
it
must have been your first rodeo. I've been at this shit for 20-some years. I've seen them come, I've seen them go.
yeah.
I walked the halls of MATC proudly. I finally got me a gig at MATC. This is so beautiful. You laid off. Employment walking. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm getting money. Mr. Barnes, we just lost a grant. When you hit see, that's what we say. A setback is a setup for a comeback. And so
Right.
sometimes it's really just about because each time what I did was I got back to my grind. I didn't cry about it. I didn't whine about it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna maximize this shit here
Right.
and I'm gonna move around. Right. And so before you knew it, Kev was turning in his 2-week notice because I'm getting back to where I was going, motherfucker.
Right.
I guess that's the bootstrap that my bootstrap
See,
from I was talking
and
about.
that's what helped me develop my hustle muscle was that shit. Having to hit up my people who knew shit about shit and get involved with what they was in just to feed my family. You know, then it's like, damn, this is what motherfuckers really be having to do, huh?
Gotta do it.
You know, so
Do for
but
self.
shit, I ain't ashamed about feeding my family, you know.
Every man for himself and God for us all. Paris says check out time. Check out time. Tupac featuring Corrupt and Big Sight. I love when Shay tells me about music that I used to listen to and shit. I'm like, he telling me the album and everything, right? Like, check out time was my shit back in the days, man. Come on. I know exactly what album it was on and everything. Tiasha says very true. She agrees with me. Somebody's on my side. I got to celebrate that while it lasts.
Hey.
Shay said, yeah, those kinds of jobs our grandparents had are gone. We have to do for self nowadays. Erica Hunt, how you doing, my sister? Welcome to the show. Erica's on the jack in the chat room, meaning the phone or whatever. So he said, ain't nobody jacking. Vince said, I work for the Navy and insurance company selling life insurance, a manufacturer, a bank, and several social service organizations. Their paper, a BA, And MSW on the application has always landed me a job, even when I help with an acquisition. Yeah, see, that's the thing that's blessed too, that I had to realize is the power and the value of having an education. That I'm more now, like I don't really stress about a job because I'll get another job. That's just the reality of it. So I don't let it like drive me through the roof. I think my wife and I try to be smart about managing resources, and it's just about like do for self and don't. So in that regard, I say I don't wait around to get promoted if I don't see it coming. I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna be proactive and go where I'm. You say we go where we appreciate it, not where we're tolerated. Some people stay on the job and be like, well, I've been here 15 years, and you be like, damn, how many you make what? And they be like, why you never left? Well, I just thought, I figured one day I eventually get, but no, they're not gonna promote you. You steady. You the girl who always give it up. Nobody's gonna marry you. She said, well, MC Tone, where you at? Yeah, we know MC Tone to come here and start talking about building a business with his hoes. She said, where's the co-host Sean Moore? Sean is a friend of the show. It's like Housewives where they got friends of the show. Like they ain't all like housewives yet. Pause, right? Like not like that. But Sean's a friend of the show. I'm sure he's tuning in from somewhere. He might be in a minute to talk shit for me for saying that. Bank doors closed, all your money gone, Ben says. Shay says 80% of Americans are still or one or two paychecks away from being unhoused. Absolutely. Yes, we are. Erica Hunt said as long as workplaces continue to be toxic and take advantage of workers. She didn't finish that.
Hey, we was just talking about how like everybody shouldn't be business owners. So should we promote that everybody shouldn't be business owners, or should we promote that everybody should try?
I think we should. I think we should.
Like, I mean, because come on.
I think we should promote. People need to do what they're comfortable doing. Like, find your comfort zone.
What about coming out that comfort zone so you can achieve greatness sometime? Like, what about that?
I think you got to get. I hear what you're saying, but I think you got to get comfortable first. I think you got to, because you find stuff you love when you get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can create a situation where, okay, I got stable enough income so I can start my business, because to be able to invest in yourself, right. So you have to get comfortable first.
Well, that's why I say, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to work a job to be able to fuel your business. You know what I mean? I get it. Right.
What's that word?
What I'm saying? I was in the same place.
Comfortability.
But I also understand that you don't want to get comfortable. You know what I mean? That's what had me in that motherfucking job for 10 years.
You don't want to get complacent. Comfortable and complacent is right. Or is it semantics? I don't know.
Exactly. But I mean, and that's really, I see this both ways, right? But I just feel like it would do us as a community better to promote for everybody to try at least, right? Because see, we got a lot of people that can't do it that may not ever even try if nobody even pushes it to them. You dig what I'm saying? And those that can't, they won't. They gonna fail. I mean, the people that can't do it, they just fail. Unless they learn something.
I think that's where you got to be careful about telling people what to do, right?
Sure.
I think you got to present them with options and say, pick the one that you feel works best for you. So I say, if we can create avenues, like we have the Black Chamber of Commerce, which you are very familiar with, right? And they present opportunities to people who want to become entrepreneurs, right? So just to have those kinds of resources available to somebody who may say, I choose, A, B, or C. Right now, this is the route I'm going to take. But the problem comes when you have a community that doesn't have options at all. And because of the color of your skin, they won't let you be an entrepreneur, or they limit your ability to start a business. That's when the problem has come historically. When in the community, they say, nah, we ain't going to let you niggas get in that business. Now, a lot of that's wide open now. A lot of that's been removed, but historically, we weren't allowed to stray too far away from where they wanted us to go.
Well, I get that, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, at this point, though, where we are, where, we need to we need more businesses. We need to be able to employ our own. So I just feel like we should be pushing that, man. We should be promoting, you know what I mean? Build your own business, start your own business. Because we talking about do for self. If that's important, we need to promote it all the way.
You know, some of
You
these,
know what I mean? And like I say, if it ain't for everybody. Now, the people that it ain't for, they won't be able to make it. They're gonna have to get one of those jobs that could be employed by one of us.
I would say, but who says getting a good job ain't making it?
Well, right. And you know what? I ain't knocking that. I ain't knocking that. That's why I said I feel like we should just be promoting that. This should be something that we promote. We should be promoting.
See, so Kamar, now we get into a fork in the road, and I'm gonna tell you why. I want y'all to know y'all can call in. Chat room is on deck. Erica Hunt says if the workplace actually took care of workers and they have a healthy work environment, more will want to stay in the workplace. It's very true, Erica.
You know,
There's some issues with
I
how
give my kids a choice.
there's some issues with how a lot of organizations treat their employees. Shay says, what's the minimum wage in Milwaukee? Is $17.29 here in Denver. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I think it's still $7.25, ain't it?
Is it $7.25 still, or is it 12?
I don't think they raised it to that 15. Whatever.
I thought it was 10 or something like that.
I thought it was too. I thought it was like 12.
I think it's still $7.25. I think they was talking about raising to like
real.
It's not $7.25, man. That was in the 90s.
Okay, I mean somebody in the chat's gonna know.
I think it's
that was slavery. That was slavery. Somebody was promoting slavery.
Somebody in the chat room, tell us what is it? What is it?
Yeah, let me Google that shit real quick.
Dion says everyone ain't meant to be an entrepreneur.
No, they ain't.
Hold on, we got a caller.
They ain't, but you know what I mean. I ain't gonna tell them not to try.
Caller, you are live on Outlaw Radio.
I ain't gonna be the one to tell them you ain't meant to be an entrepreneur.
What's going on, kid? It's Dion, man. What's happening, man?
Dion, what's popping, bro? It's the first time you called in. What's good, man?
Well, I ain't called since I first watched y'all. But I be driving most of the time, man. So I'm parked. I pulled over the park and stopped at this gas station, grab me a bite to eat. But I tell people, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when we think about entrepreneurship, I think people just really be thinking about the money for the most part. You get the money, like I told you in the chat. I said I drive semi trucks for a living. I could still buy me a semi truck. Not flat out buy it, but make the notes on it, be out here woo out the damn. But like I tell people, okay, like say with my job, I got short term disability, long term disability, dental, vision. I got health insurance right. Dental, vision. I got a 401k. Like I said, short term, long term disability. If something happens, you know what I'm saying, I could get unemployment. So when a lot of times when people be talking about entrepreneurship, they're not looking at, you got to pay your taxes quarterly or every year, but quarterly is best. Then, you want to have some type of backup plan just in case things go sour. You also want to pay into Social Security. You want to start you a 401k. You want to have some type of health insurance just in case something do go wrong, because all the money that you made, if you get sick, boy, you can wipe your savings out. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times when people be sitting up there and be like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, they just looking at like, okay, like say for instance, I could drive the truck, buy my own truck, drive the truck. But then when you owning the semi truck, you got to pay the semi truck before you pay yourself. I got to make sure the maintenance stay up on this truck, because if the wheels ain't turning, I ain't getting no money. You understand what I'm saying? I got to make sure the tires is good. I got to make sure the fuel is amazing right now. Just like I was telling you about vehicles is high. You know what I'm saying? So it got its pros and its cons. Don't get me wrong. Like I got plenty of my guys that own semi trucks, but I'd be like, you niggas is working just as hard, but y'all could be working for somebody else too. You understand what I'm saying? So it ain't, a lot of times, like I said, I don't knock nobody for the entrepreneurship spirit. Do your thing, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But a lot of times we be looking at these white folks, you know what I'm saying, and we be trying to emulate them, and we just don't know. They come from generational wealth. Just like you said earlier, millionaires got several incomes. They got investments. You understand? They can live off the principal interest of their money without even making no moves. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like I said, we just be looking at, it's like I tell people, people look at the trucking game like selling dope. You buy whatever, woo out the bam, you make the money, you back at it again. You know what I'm saying? But what if that truck break down? Like my guy said, he had to do an overhaul on one of his engines of his truck. That's 25 G's right there. You understand what I'm saying? And then, like I said, I could be getting in this truck, twist, break my whole leg, my bone pop out. Now I can't get out here and ride this truck. I ain't got no insurance. I got to go back to the doctor. All that money I being made, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't paying my bills, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like talking about garnishing me, putting liens on my house and all that. So even the little money I make, to go to the hospital right now, it costs some money. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't knock nobody, but I just rather work for somebody because, like I tell people, everybody can't be a principal. Somebody got to be a teacher. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna let y'all go and I'm gonna listen, man. Love, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you calling, my
Peace.
brother. Love,
Peace.
Hey,
we gotta get Dion hooked up with some apparel, man. Gotta get him hooked up so he can wear it on the road. Go ahead, Real.
Okay, yeah, no, and again, I ain't telling people to quit their job and shit, because I still have my job for the health insurance and all the other insurances in case something unfortunate happened to me. My policy is through my job type shit. So it ain't saying, hey, quit your job, start a business today, otherwise you ain't nothing. It's just, all I'm saying to people is always be mindful of how you can grow your shit. Like even with the brother Dion being a truck driver, I have an uncle that I've witnessed. He got out, he got his truck driver's license. He drove for somebody for like what is CRT or I can't remember, but he drove for somebody for a year or two. Then he leased his truck a year. Then after that, he caught a truck, then he caught a trailer so he didn't have to so he get the full load. So while he getting the full load, he taking that bread, he took that bread, caught him some real estate property. Then he started going into developing real estate and flipping that shit while he put somebody else on his truck to drive it. And now he flipped real estate, got a truck on the road, and his lady runs a CBRF out of one of his properties now. So that's just the other possibility of that. Like I said, everybody ain't built for that. Everybody mind don't work like that. Or maybe he just ain't there right now. Because a lot of people that was shooting me down about not wanting to be business owners, guess what? Now they come to me trying to figure out how to be business owners. Like my family. I've been trying to get my family to get houses, all kind of shit for a minute. But now, after 5 years of me trying to do shit business-wise, now my family got the prenatal care coordination agency, where they pair pregnant girls up with resources, and now they even do billing for other prenatal care coordinator agencies. So it might not be it might just be a time thing. They might just not be ready now.
I think we missing the point.
Everybody doing the best that they can do
when we
at
said
this
self
point in their life.
Yeah, but we said self.
Right.
Do for self.
Right.
Meaning,
whatever best for
do
you.
what's best for you.
Right.
If you ask what it mean to us.
No, I think we were still talking. Yeah, I said that, but I thought we was.
So we telling you what it mean to us.
Right. I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying y'all wrong. I'm just presenting a point. I never said y'all was wrong. For me, see, because I want to talk about a career, but let me catch my chat room up.
Okay. Yeah.
Erica says sometimes it be the structure of the workplace. She said sometimes it's the structure. Dion's talking about what he was elaborating on when he called in about the taxes. Erica Hunt said he is right. It's $7.25 minimum wage and hasn't been raised.
Yeah, I just Googled it. 2023.
Shame on you, Milwaukee and Wisconsin. $7.25?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Come on. That's not even a bootstrap.
$7.25.
Well, actually, let me take that back, because oatmeal beat no meal, right? If you say, well, they got shit over here, go get that $7.25 and try to strive for a better way. Erica says, I have entrepreneurs who haven't paid taxes and now they actually are in debt and have a failing business. Vince said blacks don't share business investment information like white people, nor do we have access.
All businesses don't survive. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact.
Right. Vince says blacks don't share business investment information like white people, nor do we have access to the cash or capital. There's still that red line. That's kind of like what I was alluding to about the opportunity and the access to the resources.
Hustle.
Yeah, Dion, you
Grind.
speaking facts. So okay, so
Get
I
it
guess my
ourselves.
point was with the whole discussion about career versus, and in no means do I want to tell you that when it comes to doing for self, it's about money, because I don't think it's about money. I don't think it's all. We're
Not
talking about
always.
the financial aspect of it, but it's on different levels. Now, I say this too.
Right.
I'm somebody who always wanted a career in something, right? Not just a job. There's a difference between a job and a career, because a career ultimately is an investment in yourself, which ultimately you become, like Rail referred to, an independent contractor. This is my career, mercenary type shit. Have work, will travel, which in itself, the essence of that is I am a businessman. I go where the money is. I go where the opportunity is, right? But if to build a career, a lot of times it's necessary that you work under someone else. Sometimes it's about the tutelage. Sometimes it's about the opportunity to gain access. So my whole thing, wasn't even against what y'all was saying about being an entrepreneur. It was more like, but having a career and saying I'm going to set myself up to have a career is also doing for self. Not necessarily I own my business, but no, I'm an independent contractor.
Right. Like doing what's good for you.
Right. We got a caller. You live on Outlaw Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Well, what's up, Outlaws? This is Erica, your girl, Erica. Man, I didn't know you was talking about working today. You know, your girl a union organizer around here. You should have brought me on the show, man. But yeah, minimum wage ain't been raised since I started working in high school at the age of 15 years old. But I hopped on here today to ask you, why do you think raised in over a decade plus, almost 2 decades now?
You said, why do I think it hasn't been raised?
Right.
Well, because our government is full of red tape, and when it comes to really helping poor people, I think that there's a need for them to maintain balance. And if we're going to give more money to the bottom, then the top needs more, right? So they have to figure out a way. And I'm so surprised that it's still $7.25, because honestly, in my heart of hearts, I thought it was up to $12. So I didn't even know that. So I learned something on the show.
They was trying to raise it to like $15.75 or something like that.
So right now, as a union organizer, I help security guards get paid through their contract, $16 minimum wage. Okay, but that's through their contract. State law says that minimum wage is still $7.25. I've been an activist for Fight for 15 since 2009, and as long as we've been out in the field saying we need $15 minimum wage, every law and every time we've tried to get that law passed, it's been denied here in Wisconsin. But our neighbors in Chicago got minimum 15 wage. Our neighbors in surrounding states around us have minimum $15 wage. New York has a minimum wage of $15 an hour. If not, if it's not higher. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is those are blue states, and we've been a red state for a while until we just flipped this state into a blue state not too long ago. So when we're talking about the community and going to work and how much they making and living wage, we got to think about who's in that office making those laws and denying the laws and the bills that we've been trying to pass for years now, decades now. So I'm just happy to say that I'm happy we finally got a Supreme Court who is a blue flag. Janet Prosowski. I say her name wrong all the time. I call her Janet Pro.
Her name is Polish sausage.
It takes a pro to say it right. That's how you say it. There. But yeah, I'm happy. Yes, I'm happy that she's in office.
That's funny.
And I'm happy that there's other politicians that are being placed or working to get into those positions so that we can go ahead and make Wisconsin a true blue state. Because that is right.
Yeah.
But you gotta think about it. As long as it's been red, minimum wage to stay $7.25.
Yeah, it was minimum wage. Was that when they could? Oh, okay.
I don't think minimum wage changed because.
But I hopped up here to start a conversation. Though. I did.
No, I love it. I love it because you just kind of laid another layer on when we start talking about money and do for self and this kind of thing. And so some people for them to establish our own political footholds is to them doing for self, right? And so my thing is this, that we're party poopers and we poop on both parties because their treatment of us has been egregious forever. Neither party loves us at all, and they're not going to do what they need to do to help poor people. Like you had asked me why I don't think it's gone up, because I think red and blue is the same. It didn't go up under blue, it ain't going up under red, and when it get back blue again, if they give you an inch, the top end goes up. So that means inflation so goddamn now high. It's high right now. It's not really, if I say 850, 950, if you make $10 an hour in this country, you can't raise no family. So even if they went up $3, but this is from decades of poor people being poor and rich people getting richer. You say the poor get poor and the rich get richer, right? That's kind of like, that's Reaganomics. That's trickle down economics for you. Since we talk red and blue type shit. I just don't know that, I don't know that it's political because one party is better than the other, and I think politicians are politicians. Go ahead, Kamar.
I feel like maybe gentrification got something to do with it.
Listen, here's the deal.
Why not? Why? I mean, like, okay, if they want black folks to move from out the inner city.
Okay, Erica.
If they want black folks,
thank you for calling, sis.
If they want black folks to move from the inner city, you know what I'm saying, they ain't gonna raise the minimum wage. Vince they want them to not be able to afford to stay in the inner city.
Vince stole my thoughts. He said, although minimum wage is $7.75 an hour, $7.25 an hour, the fact is nobody's working for $7.25. Employers like cops are paying $16. I was just about to say, if you looking at, I need a job and $7.25 is all you can find, just look a little harder. My son works at Big Lots. It's his first job. He makes $10 an hour. You see what I'm saying? He's only 16 years old. So if you really, if that's where you're at, like, I'm going to go ahead and take this $7.25 an hour, I would challenge you just to look a little bit harder.
A little bit harder.
Just a little bit harder, Kamar. I say, hold on, bro. Now if you say, Kev, I ain't got no choice, I got to do this, I would say, I understand, brother. But understand this. This is the ends to a means. You're going to take this just to get your feet wet. Are you just trying to get bus fare now, trying to get a bus pass? While you working there, keep your eye on the prize. You need to be applying with shit every day. If $7.25 is what you're making, there's no reason for you to sit there. I don't care if you can't read, write, do arithmetic, or none of that, as my grandparents say. You can't even do his arithmetic.
And that's all the more reason that I promote. You know, you ain't got to quit your day job, but it's wild for people to be okay working 3 jobs before they ever try to work 1 job plus finding a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people working 3 jobs to still be poor. Whereas, you know, like, I'm writing a book now called 40 Ways to Get $40. And I'm specialized, all the jobs, I'm doing 40 different ways for people to make money online from their phone, from the safety of their home. Because I know too many people bragging about 3 jobs and they still not hitting 30 to 40 G's a year.
Now, Jason, how you say Halvok? He says red line, LOL. I now with the risk that this may be a troll.
Right. That's how I feel.
Like, you got to be, come on, man. If you're silly enough to believe that redlining didn't have a long-term effect on the economic development, especially in a city like Milwaukee, just being kind of naive. You're being an ass for the fuck of it. Because, you know, anytime you take a group of people and box them in and reduce their access to any and everything, it's going to have a long-term effect. That's just basic science. Before we even say black, white, purple, yellow, green, orange, any group of humans, there's poor white people who that has happened to them and they still live in squalor and in poverty. So, you know, if you're thinking this is the kind of show where we're going to scream, you know, oh, you know, we screaming bloody murder and crying wolf, it's not. Everybody on Outlaw Radio is very well informed. My audience is very well informed. Shout out to them.
Everybody getting shitted on. Like, my daily call is, you know, like, I talk to people who getting Social Security and like, if a motherfucker get like too much in disability or Social Security, they getting $23 in food stamps. You know, so it's people. I talk to people of all colors, but I talk to white people. It don't make no sense. I've worked all my life and this is all I get, or they don't make no sense. I'm I'm a disabled veteran, and we giving more assistance to other countries than the disabled veterans here. Like, man, everybody getting shitted on.
Listen, poverty too is a super crippling thing. And if you don't understand it, you just don't get it. Now, I work with people every day, and I've had young single mothers with children who are on the verge of being homeless come to me and say, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm about to get kicked out. I don't have nowhere to live. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with my kids. And I asked them a very simple question: have you applied for subsidized housing? Because you get food share and you get Badger Care. So
Mm-hmm.
you are basically a person who a candidate to live in subsidized housing.
Shit, right,
And they
you a
said,
mama.
I've
You
always kind of
first.
wanted to. I've kind of always wanted to see if I can get that, but I don't know how to do it. They don't even know how to get the process started. Now, I just happen to be able to do so, right? I know
Right,
how to do it, but it's not as simple as you would think, where it's point and click. You do have to be kind of savvy, know how to manage and how to navigate the internet and whatnot. And so I do that for people all the time. You never know when that first little piece that they finally get some relief and say, somebody helped me. I'm taking it from
right.
here. We had Alicia Mullins on the show from Purpose to Prosperity. Y'all let me know if I'm saying it right. Shout out to
Yeah,
my sister.
my mama went and spoke at her event she had
Yes.
for the prenatal care coordination agency.
And if you talk to
Nevaeh House for
Alicia,
anybody looking for a prenatal care coordinator or know somebody pregnant and get
if,
state insurance.
if you know Alicia's story, Alicia went and did time. Not no 2 months. She did a stretch. Came home, totally discombobulated. And you know, whatever issue she had that got her in there, which I would let her talk about that, but I know her story. She went and she stayed in government housing. She took advantage of every opportunity that came her way. She ended up moving out of the projects, buying her own home, working 2 or 3 jobs with, working on having revenue streams from different places. So she was able to do it. It's possible to do, but it's not the norm, because
Right.
poverty sometimes got you in a chokehold to the point where you say, man,
Quicksand.
I can't see the forest for the trees. And so I don't want people
Mhm.
to, and when we talking tonight, we're not talking from an uppity perspective, because we all understand the struggle is real as a motherfucker, especially
Right.
if you're a person of color. It ain't no joke. It ain't sweet. And I'm not telling you, I don't want to make this shit when I say, yeah, do for self, like you can just flip up the next day and be like, I'm doing for self. It's a
Right.
process. It's a
Right.
process. And it has a starting point and it has a finishing point. We don't know if that's when you get where you wanted to go or when your ass expire, but you got to keep trying to move the process along, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So I don't want nobody to think we're minimizing people who are out here struggling, saying, oh, you just poor because you want to be. Because that's some people who just don't really know how to stop the cycle. But that's why it's important for brothers like ourselves and others to be able to go to these
Right.
people and say, no. At least one thing you won't be able to say from here on out is that nobody didn't tell you. Right? Because like the people who I help, if they never get in it and and I say, well, did you follow through? Well, no, I didn't, because I didn't. But I didn't do it for you. I showed you how to do it. I didn't take
Right.
you fishing. I taught you how to bait the hook. So I showed you exactly what I was doing. Write your passwords down. When you go on here, this is where you click at. So we'll see. We'll see. That's why you don't do anything waiting on somebody to give you adulation for it. You just do it. And if it turns out positive, they'll come back. They'll come back
Right.
and say, hey man, thank you. She said, I've been on the waiting list damn near 10 years. And then when my name did pull up the lottery for subsidized housing, I still was denied. Damn. You probably was making too
Damn.
much money though. You probably was making too much money. Her hustle woke up. I'm just saying, get the process started. I know it's a waiting list and all that, but get the process started, man. You never know. Once you you say God bless the child has got his own, right? Like you can't expect nobody else to. That's just one iron in the fire. In the meantime, girl, I'm trying to, because I told her, I said, in addition to that, it's another thing that I told this young lady. In addition to that application, you need to call your case manager and see if you qualify for rent assistance, because you can go and live somewhere and be damn near what you pay in the projects. We saying projects, we should be saying housing development. Paris said, right, isn't Milwaukee one of the most segregated cities in the country, along with Chicago? Hell, a redlining went on and it still goes on. Well, I don't even have to. He was saying that, but here's the proof that would make him waste his pudding. There's actually a class action lawsuit won here awarded to Black Milwaukee, which the NAACP was in charge of, I should say, was awarded to them, in which millions of dollars was paid out by State Farm because of evidence of redlining. So they say, argue with your mama. I don't really trip on that, bro. I don't really trip on that. Some shit is just real. Erica said, I was at PNCC for 2 years. I've seen companies scamming clients and government. Tiarsha said, just because they get assistance, they ain't always qualified for housing. Milwaukee housing sucks. They can apply for South Milwaukee, Oak Creek, Waukesha, or out of state. Hey, I just try to get you to try, right? Like, so, because I think once you start trying, you're willing to keep trying. You say, oh, well, shit, that ain't working. I got to figure out another way. That's why I said we got to get your case manager on the phone to figure out whether you qualify for rent assistance. That's really a Kohler game. Shay says, how much is the average 1-2 bedroom apartment in Milwaukee? And Denver is $1,800 plus. I think we up now to about $1,100. But you can get, depending on the neighborhood here, you get a crib with a bunch of space. But goddamn, when the nighttime comes, you might have to move the furniture.
Yeah, when just in my area now, I did a fair market for rent around here, and yeah, like a 2-bedroom upper duplex, you could easily get $1,100. You know, and honestly, that's one of the only benefits of Barada buying up the neighborhood, is because when they do fair market rent, they look at what's going for rent in an area, and if that motherfucker own a whole neighborhood, he basically got a monopoly and can set
rent control.
Right. So I benefit from that if I decided to rent to private people again. But yeah, I'm still looking into traveling medical professionals, because man, private folk got more stories than rent.
Erica said that rent assistant list been closed for 20 years. Oh shit. Well, I mean, I tell you what. You won't know until you knock on the door, right? Because I'm the type of person, if I'm struggling, I'm exhausting every single.
Right.
And that's my whole thing to them.
It gotta be a better way. That's all I tell myself. It gotta be a better way than this.
It's sitting still.
And I'm gonna try, because it gotta be a better way.
And see, they would have, you know what? They said it's been closed for 10 years or more. All they would have did is tell me that, and I would have turned to her and said, "It's that list is closed, so that's not one of your options. Let's figure out something else," which is what you do. And they go, "Oh well, shit, that shit's done. Come holler at me next week." No, it's we're gonna find you something, right? It might not be, as sparkly as some other shit, but we're gonna find you something. Keep on trying. Shout out to Jalen Hurts, who's the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, who took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. He just negotiated the highest paid contract in the history of the NFL, $200 million plus. And come to find out that his entire team is comprised of Black women. Shout out to that brother also for having a sister on his arm. I seen a picture of him. And we ain't against interracial relationships, but it's always good to see a brother and a sister be able to get it done. But he did this thing. They said he penned a love letter to Black women. This is in the People's News Network. And he started it out by saying, "Dear Black women, thank you. Thank you for being you, showing up the way you do, for being trailblazers, for being loving, for being resilient. We see you, I see you, and appreciate you. Much love." Shout out to that brother. Young brother, 200 million skrillion, as we used to say back in the days. The anti-Aaron Rodgers, right? Right now he is, right? 10 years we see his ass if he all stuck. Let me see. Jesse Perry said, "Do y'all have rent control or rent stabilization?" No, we don't. Erica said, "Listen, sir, wait till you run out of options to help her. Even 211 says there's no space in shelters for years." Well, I tell you what, she has a place to stay right now, and she's being tolerated by family. So what I would tell her, if we couldn't find her option, is be real nice to your cousin. That's doing help her with some bills, clean up behind yourself until we find your ass something. It's always something you could do.
Right.
Don't be walking around talking about, "Bitch, I ain't got to take this. I signed up for West Lawn." You might not get that shit. Don't burn that bridge. So I'm still helping. Y'all can't tell me I'm all about helping people, man. Shit. Sometimes you got to go along to get along, man, in order to get from point A to B, man. That's what it's all about, man.
Right.
That's the rule of the streets. Like I'm gonna have to figure out how to navigate out here. This ain't shit sweet. She said, wait till I run out of options. You know what? That would be crazy. And even in that situation, because one of the other steps that I have taken is to say, you need to get you a driver's license. You go to the Urban League, get in the driver's license course. And at the same time, you can go down to MATC damn near for free and find you a career. So it's all encompassing. It's not like I said, just sign up for the projects. You'll be all right. I didn't know I had to tell you my whole entire job, right? You know what I'm saying? But I ain't new to this, Erica. I'm true to this. I've been helping people for a long time. I've been helping them for a long time. And I understand you probably get 17 doors slammed in your face before you get one that's open and inviting you in for a seat at the table, as they call it. Let me see what's up. What else is going on in Milwaukee? Well, you said you threw me for a loop, and I put this article in the People's News Network too.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I want people to go and watch it. It's by brother Levert, the boss man. It's a TikTok video,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
talks about Ford and GM supplying the Nazi party with vehicles.
Yeah, that was funny, man.
I gotta go watch it. Go watch it, man. It's a
He,
crap. Whoa.
Yeah,
I knew that about Henry Ford. I didn't know GM had gotten a hand in there too.
Yeah, he do a thing called Everything is Racist. And he give you the racist background of so much shit, man.
Man, that one was good. That one was good. I was sitting there like this. What?
Yeah,
like,
you put
what?
wow. I was like, damn, he must say no this one.
Now let me see. I can't say your name, Jason. He said, how about this? Find 3 people willing to show up and bust ass. At least one must have an okay car, get into said car and drive about a half hour, probably less, and get a factory job making $20 an hour or so. Be honest with your friends and give them a little gas, wear and tear money, take turns driving, much as possible, punch in, punch out, get paid. Work hard and get raises, save up a little bit and move out the shithole the Democrats have you hoarded in. Get better living, better schools and access. That's all so poetic. And Jason, nobody's against anything you're saying. Nobody's against anything you're saying. Right. Except for the part when you start talking about the Democrats have us in. Because once again, both parties is shitty, right? When it comes to people of color. Now, I don't know what your cultural, racial identity is, but the reality of being a person of color in America is everything ain't what it seems like it is for you. And maybe let me know if you're a brother or not. Because being a black person, especially a black person who's poor, who comes from generational poverty, shit ain't that sweet and it ain't that smooth. Now, if you have access to be able to build like you're talking about, getting with some people saying, let's carpool to work, you know what I mean? Let's share the gas, give me some gas money, go work, and $20 an hour is reputable. That's cool. Do that. I would say do that too. But we got to get from the egg first. We got to get the chickadee hatched. And that needle is moving real slow for some people. So I don't disagree with you. I take the Democrat part out. But what you're talking about is actually doing for self too, Kamar. If you look at this comment, he says, get into the carpool, get with your people and say, man, let's take care of us. Let's do it. That's actually do for self. So once again, I don't know if you thought this was one of those black shows where we don't understand the intricacies, right? And the mechanisms. We all with that. Yeah. That's cooperative economics. We love that idea. Yeah. Shit. What you talking about? Bartering. I got chickens, you got cows. I give you chicken legs, you give me ground beef.
That's why I'm making wine right now. And that's what I was saying. Like, even do for self, it ain't always financial or monetary, because if this system go down, money ain't gonna mean shit. And now it's what skills, products, and services can you barter and trade with. That's why I teach myself how to grow shit. And now I got wine making on my fucking credentials. If I need to sell wine, or not sell wine, if I need to trade wine or turn that shit into fuel, whatever, it's, or just the knowledge of agriculture. There's more than money that makes us valuable. And once we find our value and our expertise, you can use those to be able to do for self, not even money, just being able to grow your own food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There you go, real. Do for self, right? There's that thing again. where you live somewhere and you got a backyard, you
Hell
can
yeah.
take your ass out there and till that soil and grow you some vegetables and say we might be a lot of things, but we'll never be hungry. Because I got a green thumb.
Shit, I got some loofah seeds. I'm growing loofah this year. You know the shit you use in the shower, the loofah brushes.
Yeah.
I'm growing loofah this year, and I got some corn and sunflowers. I'm gonna see if I can get popping.
Right. Grow your own weed. I mean, no, that ain't what you said. My fault. I thought you said. I thought that's
if
what
it was
you said.
legal right now, I'm a licensed hemp professional. But as soon as that becomes legal, shit, at least I got the skill with him.
Erica said I got to start with that because there's no real resources in Milwaukee to provide help. I disagree. And I disagree because I've taken hungry families to places where they can get some food. You know what I'm saying? I've taken kids who didn't have
Triple B Cafe got pay what you can.
Right.
Right.
Vegan. Hey, it's vegan, but they got pay what you can.
Well,
beggars can't be choosy. I've taken women who kids didn't have clothing for winter where they can get caps and gloves and all that. We've put paint where it ain't before. Right? That's what I'm saying. I don't play my whole album on this show.
At the end of the day, poverty is a mindset and mind state. Like I said, I've worked for unemployment. I've worked for Quest and shit. Some people will always have an excuse on why they can't be great, and that's the thing. That's their perception and perspective. And sometimes you gotta be like, well, I used to be like with unemployment, they're like, oh, so you telling me I'm denied? How am I gonna feed my kids? All right, well, I can connect you with 211. They gonna send me to a food bank. That food's spoiled. Okay, well, shit. Old food is better than no food. Shut the fuck up. Get off my phone. But some people, I can't say that when I'm on the clock, man.
I know
that shit, man.
That is not your career.
Since 2018. It's kind of making me cynical, man. But
that's not for you. That is not the job for you.
I'm trying to get off these phones, man. But again, that goes back to what you were saying with the education. Like my shit is in IT. So now it's either go back to school and get something for these corporate offices or stay in these entry-level back-to-back call positions.
And I one thing that I do like about myself, one of many things, is that all my degrees are in different things. So my bachelor's, my master's, even all the way back to my associates and my PhD studies, they're all in different areas. So it's a toolbox, man. It's a Swiss
I'd have
knife.
to start over in a whole different profession and shit.
Man. Dion says that's why the United States was paying reparations to the Jews. And we get it. If we start getting into reparations, this conversation takes a whole different turn, right? When we start talking about do for self and whatnot, do you think Uber and DoorDash is an entrepreneurship? Of course it is. It's an innovation on the workforce.
Contractor.
Yeah, it's just it innovated. Look, they put taxi cabs out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Now DoorDash is gonna melt because it costs too goddamn much. I'm only gonna pay so much for a Whopper, right?
Well, what they doing is expanding. Even just like Uber, Uber got a shopping in some states where they get your liquor for you now. So they ain't melting. They add liquor and prescriptions to their shit.
Yeah, but they better start doing grocery and everything. Expanding.
I had some Uber stock. I sold it and got more Bitcoin, but
she said, Erica says, all that sound good to you in the struggle and friend riding the bus with you. I don't know if she's talking about me or look, people struggle. I see this every day. I don't want nobody to think I don't understand what's going on. Like I'm telling you, I do. Jason actually agreed with you, Rel. He said right on, really. So he ain't totally. I thought he might be a troll for a minute.
I don't
Jason
know.
Halvach. I thought usually we get them conservatives on here, they want war. We're like, calm down, motherfucker. This ain't that kind
it's just about. I think it's just about people stop bitching, crying about what can't be done, and focus on what you can do inch by inch.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You so worried about your foot hurting that you refuse to take a step. Right? Like shit. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Erica Hunt said, help me. I don't know what you need. I don't know what you need help with, Erica. I have done a lot of networking in the community. When I tell people I'm here to help y'all, it's because I've worked in the community for a very long time. And so normally, listen, some shit is complicated, and I'll say to them, we have to have a conversation with you about you. This ain't no resource gonna fix this. I need for you to be able to articulate and
I
define
mean,
what it is
I
that you
do
want.
consultations, but I like shit. I'm not a. It's like this shit. I'm gonna tell you do what's best for you. It may not be church approved. It may not even be law approved. I mean,
Well,
but
I'm not gonna tell you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I can't do shit. I can't go into. It all depends on what kind of consultations
No,
you
no,
got.
no. I think the first thing, and that's usually where I start at. It's not about okay. Let me send you to SDC. My thing is usually, what do you want? I
Right,
need for you
right,
to be able to articulate what you
right. And
want.
that's why you had a consultation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Okay. Let's take this piece of paper and let's make 2 columns. Let's take in a perfect life on this side and in my current life on this side. Right.
What do
And
you
let's
want, and what are you willing to do for it?
but where are you at? What do you want and where are you at? Well, I want to be an electrician. Do you have a high school diploma? No. Let's go back to that.
Right, right,
Let's start
right,
with a GED, right?
right,
So it's not really about me just handing out pamphlets. It's really about me
right.
saying, what's the issue here? Like, brothers come in and talk to me about child support. Man, I'm just child support killing me, Mr. Barnes. I need some help. All right, well, check this out. Let's look at the situation with your child support.
Mm-hmm.
When the last time you went down there and contested or put in, any kind of, well, it's been about 25 years. Okay, let me give you a number to call down there.
Right, and that's where I fucked up because, like I said, I went from $32.50 an hour to $12.50 an hour. I was still paying child support for my divorce, like I was making that kind of money. So, at my most fucked up, I was working 160 hours a month to see $800 a month with a $1,000 mortgage. So, like, I know the struggle. At my most fucked up, I can't divulge everything I did, but shit, I mean, I ain't ashamed of none of the shit
I
I
wouldn't
did.
want
But
you to, because we don't want to get to divulging on here. Me and Kamara be all
right,
divulged out.
right. So,
We wouldn't
but
have no show next week. Like,
it's like at the end of the day, you feed yourself and your family without hurting anybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I guess you gotta figure out what people's mindset is and what are they boundaries, I guess.
She said, I disagree about the food and clothing. There are plenty places for those too, but housing sucks here in Wisconsin, and I worked for Urban League, so I know for real. Listen, one of the issues in Milwaukee is affordable housing. We live in a city where most people are income deprived, which means too large of a portion of their total income goes to just being able to stay somewhere. I don't want nobody to think that I've got a magic wand and I'm sending people who you homeless, bling. No, you ain't. You got a condo. What I'm saying is, above and beyond everything else, what I tell a person is none of what I will tell you to work unless you take some initiative to deal with it, right? And so put out flyers and put out feelers for everything you want, but at the same time, go at the situation how it exists right now. Like I said, I would hope she didn't go home and tell whoever she's staying with because they was kind enough to let her stay there. Fuck all y'all. I'll be out of here in 6 months.
Right.
No, the fuck you won't.
I can't wait till I'm approved. Oh,
Right.
you motherfuckers.
Oh shit. I'm gonna be sending you to the rescue mission, goddammit. And I think they all booked up. She said, well, you know how important it is to have healthy food. Just because people make $7.25 and need to use a food pantry, people shouldn't eat rotten food. What food pantry gives out rotten food? The Hunger Task Force don't give out rotten food.
Hunger Task Force don't, and then they send it to the churches and like real shit. My parents and shit, like my people, because they still in church. The church, if people don't come get that shit from the food pantry, they give it to the members on the way out of service. Like, hey, y'all want some boxes? Ain't nobody coming to get them, so I got some of them boxes. That shit don't be bad. It don't be bad. It be shit like beans, dates. You know, shit that motherfuckers don't remember how to cook that you might have to throw a hock in.
I think somebody's calling me to curse me out. Erica.
I ain't calling to curse you out. Kevin. I'm calling just to give you a little story time here. So,
okay.
I was a struggling single mother. And I only can speak from my experience, but then I also became a prenatal care coordinator like Rail's family is. Okay. While being in the struggle myself, the first thing I did was go talk to the social worker at my kid's school. They gave me a resource book. Okay. This book was about 200 pages thick, and this book was supposed to give me resources to help me and my family. Right? Housing sucks. We all agree on that. We all know that housing sucks here, but clothing banks and food pantries suck as well. But not only that, so there's W-2. I went and got on W-2. Not ashamed. It did what it was supposed to do for me. Gave me the pillars to step on to get ahead.
Right.
But during that time, I had to do work experience, Kevin. Work experience is a program that W-2 uses. You have to go to different work sites like the Hunger Task Force, and you have to do manual work like you're working a full-time job for a $600 check, okay? And they work you like you in a full-time field, okay? But the problem is when they sent me to Hunger Task Force, I was already food safety certified because I had already been through another program through W-2 to food safety certify me. Now, food safety certified, if you didn't know anything about food, you're not supposed to mix chemicals with food. You are not supposed to mix, and any food that has been contaminated by rodents should be tossed. When I say these people asked me to sort a pallet of food that had rat shit in it, chemicals mixed in it, and they asked me to break down this pallet of food and save the good food out of this pallet. I went to the supervisor and was like, hey, none of this food is any good. There's chemicals being wasted. There's rat poop in here. Like, I can't do this, with my certificate that I have for food safety certified. I know this is right. They had the CEO come talk to me for a few moments, made me promise I would never leak this story, and then they DNR'd me. They told me I could never return. So when you say in these these food pantries not giving away food, I took a family just not too long ago to a food pantry. The meat was marked for 2020. Food from 2020 should not be going out here to these families, and it is. So we can't just say, they giving away good food. No, they not giving away good food, Kevin. And the clothes that you get now, the clothing bank pantries are so minimized that you would be better off going to Goodwill and stealing some shit out of there before you go into the clothing bank. There's no clothes for adult men, mind you. So the mothers with children, like young men who wearing adult sizes, there's no clothes for that. I could find clothes for small children, but if I got a teenager, I'm fucked. I just wanted to get out here and just say that there's these resources.
Nothing's perfect. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? And there's definitely a lot of stuff being held. Money is being kept in their executive pockets, and minimum resources are going out to our community. So we can't be like, it's shit out here people not utilizing. No, it's not. 211 has been telling people that there's no room in the shelters for years now. Matter of fact, I just had a friend who got terminated there because she went above and beyond to help a family who called her, and she was the dispatcher that took the call to get her into a shelter. And she can see a spot for this family, and she got them in there, but supervisors was like, but didn't we tell you one number of spots for the night? So there's corruption within the resources in our city, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not coming from a perspective of, self-pity. No, but there is flaws in our shit. There is a lot of flaws.
I'm not in a space where I think these programs are perfect at all, and there's flaws with everything. You can buy rotten food from Walmart, or you get home and be like, "Ain't this a bitch? This shit is rotten."
Happened to me many times.
Right. So my thing is,
2020.
Hey, you never know. I mean, I when I was with the Panthers, we went in Gauss and took meat that was for sale that was expired and green and all kinds of shit. Okay, and there's also tricks of the trade where you don't know if the date on it is accurate because they spray chemicals on it. So sometimes you buy some 2020 meat and think it's fresh.
Right. They see
the red meat that y'all buying in the grocery store got carbon monoxide in it so it can stay red.
Right. I get what you're saying, Tiarsha. I'm sorry.
Eric.
because Tiarsha is killing me in the chat room too, so I want to get her too. But no, what I'm saying is, I think a person, the day when you throw your hands up and say that's it, ain't nothing I could do. Now, for me, if I got hungry kids and I can't feed them, I'm willing to pick through some bullshit food to find some food we can actually eat. So I'm willing to go through that bag and say, well, we ain't eating this, we can't eat this. But if I find 2 cans of beans that I can say I'm gonna feed my kids this and we'll get through tonight to get to tomorrow, I'm gonna do it. And tomorrow I'm gonna be that much wiser to know what spots to avoid where you get less rotten food till I get into a science. I think when we sit down and say I'm defeated and I can't do anything else, that's when the problems really start, because then we start talking about addiction and not loving yourself and putting yourself with somebody who might beat the hell out of you, but he let you stay with him. So why you stay with him? I need somewhere to live. So you just accept somebody kicking you in your ass all day. It's diminished.
Yeah.
It's diminished returns and lowered expectations. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Without hope, you
yeah,
don't
I
got
mean,
to get out the bed without
I've met
hope.
women who returned to their abuser because the lifestyle for their children was way better than bouncing from shelter to shelter or from couch to couch or being served this expired food. They would rather have took the ass whooping than to feed their children rotten food. So you're right. It's all about the person and what their life choices are.
That's right. And I think you also got to understand that Outlaw Radio is the show where you are always right. Because more often than not, you're giving your opinion. So you are right, Erica. There's some bullshit out here in the game.
And I'm writing a book now to help more people learn ways to make money from the comfort of their home and the convenience of their phone. Hopefully, I have it published in the next 2 months.
That's what's up.
Man, and make sure you put a chapter in there on how to avoid that addiction to your cell phone, because I didn't have an addiction problem to my phone until I started trying to make money off of it, marketing all my businesses and everything off of my phone. And now my phone is glued to my hand, and I promise I get migraines just from looking at it. But
damn,
that's another topic.
It is. It is. She giving us an idea for a show on the slide. Like, I'm telling y'all what y'all need to be talking.
Man, I think I'm gonna host a meditation event, man, just to teach people breath work and meditation so they don't be stressed the fuck out and stroking out.
Jason says that's exactly what people need, but don't have goals. He said, write down 5 real goals tonight. I'm somebody who can tell you that this works because I did this when I was younger, when I found myself in a shitty situation. I said, hold on, and by the spring I had, but everybody's not me. I've learned to stop saying what I would have done and what has happened to me, because everybody ain't received my blessings, and everybody,
those are just tools that anybody can do to keep yourself grounded. Like I said, without hope, you ain't got no reason to get out the bed in the morning. So, like, that's a part of shadow work. Just write down where you are, where you want to be, and some things you feel are obstacles and getting to where you want to go. I identify one of those obstacles and figure out what it would take to overcome that shit. Do you need more knowledge? Do you need more time, more money? What the fuck? But you can't just say, hey, this shit don't work. It's about strategizing and planning and implementing that shit.
Hey, I guess that's what comedic readings are. You know, that you want to know how to do something, you ask which energies or how will the energies help me? You know, and they tell you the different stuff that you need to do.
Hit me up if y'all need some consultations. We can go over your natal chart, see where you're strong. Wow, like that. I didn't realize, I guess there's a need for this shit.
Tiarsha said, "Yeah, right, Kev. The rent here doesn't match the job income. That's why I said we live in it's income deprived. When I said people, and real reference to working poor, there are people here who have 2 jobs that still live
3
below the
jobs and still kids out here running them up because they ain't home raising their kids because they got to work 3 jobs to support their kids. So now they kids
and then we talking about why they kids out here like that, because she trying to work to keep a damn roof over their head.
Right. Man.
So I agree with you. Tiarsha said she bought the same books and it sucks and it didn't help with shit. I'm glad I ain't gave nobody no book. This is all human. This is what I do is I do what I do with a lot of humanity. So it's understanding where the person is before I make any suggestion, right? And I accept people for who they are and how they come. And I like certain people are not computer savvy. Certain people are not, maybe I want to say it's the right way. And I don't want to come off as no Obama. maybe they are not as literate as I am. Like real talk, one of my strongest talents has always been I am a very, very, very high level reader, right? And that's kind of got me through when I was flunking everything else in school, where they said this motherfucker's 3 levels ahead of himself reading wise. Everybody doesn't have that gift. So sometimes my purpose is just to read something for somebody and say, you understand what this means? And they'll say, nah. And I say, okay,
You
well,
ever
this is
did
what
your
this
natal
means.
chart, fam?
I don't know what a NATO chart is. I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
what that is. I've read it. I'm not
It's astrology,
Yeah,
like just like
it sounds like something with pregnancy. Like,
oh no,
right.
no, my
I
bad.
said
I'm sorry.
I said no, I don't wear rubbers. No,
I thought y'all knew. I'm you know that's
I
just
know. I know
but
what
it's,
it is, but I was just saying from
so
Kevin's
just like
perspective,
everybody,
right?
like most people know they sun sign. Like I'm a tourist type shit, but based off of where you were born and at what time you were born, you would know the placements of your different signs and shit. So like what you saying, you break down, you're a good reader and break shit down for other people. I was just wondering if like your Mercury was in Taurus or Gemini, some shit like that.
I'm from Capital. I'm from Capital. I listen. I've never put a whole lot of weight on any of that. Like that's some stuff that I haven't. Now see, because everybody has their like I said, their wheelhouse. I've never put much weight. I know I know my zodiac sign is a Scorpio, and that's kind of like as far as I go with it.
Okay, yeah.
I've really invested in trying to figure out astrological.
It's
not. I'm
definitely
not saying it's not something that's not real. I'm saying that's just
no. I
it's
feel
where
you.
networking helps you at.
And I wasn't ready for it at that point. I had other shit I wanted to fine tune before I even looked into it. But honestly, ever since I looked into it, it ain't telling me nothing new about myself, but it helped me understand myself from different perspectives, which I've been able to use to help other people understand themselves from different perspectives. You know, like I've always knew I had a particular way with words, but then you find out that my Mars is in Gemini, which is something that would basically Mars is for a man, how he goes about getting his desires or passion accomplished. So Gemini is intellectual and communicative. So basically, with my Mars and Gemini, my words are my weapons type shit, or my soldiers. They build you up or tear you down.
That's
But
a long way to go to just say I got mouthpiece. That's what we used to say.
right, but
I got mouthpiece.
that's the simple way. But now I understand why I do. Why people always confuse me with a Mac or some shit. It was because you know, but but I was just curious if you ever did yours, you know.
He said food from 2020. That's horrible. Absolutely. She said, TR, she said the caller's right. Shout out to Erica Hunt. She said, I agree with you. My auntie went to different churches and food spots for good food. You don't have to accept spoiled food. And there's 10 more spots that could have what you want. That
every
you could have went
corner
to,
got a church now, and every church got a food pantry.
She said, I'm with the working poor. Thank God. Thank God I'm not. She said, I would like mine done real. Erica wants her NATO chart.
Shit, if you want me to, send me your I don't know if we friends on that, send me your send me where you were born, the time you were born, like send me your birth date, the location, and the time if you know it, and I can see what I can find out for you.
Yeah, see, there's some things, right? Like so, and I know a lot of this is for me as an extreme because I was blessed with a mom who they came from the Jim Crow South where they had absolutely nothing, right? I'm talking about, I heard somebody say, get it out the mud, right?
Yeah.
And my mom always was so adamant to me about, you have no excuse.
That's dope, man.
I don't care.
That's right. That's how mine was.
Her thing was her thing. There you go, Rail. She said, I said, Mama, but Mama, she said, well, I tell you what, nigga, you got some shit you need to figure out. So I would suggest you get somewhere and do some thinking, because you ain't got long to make up your mind. And I'd be like, damn, she harsh, but it was real.
No, that's
my father was the same way. He just literally had no excuses. It was just like everybody's panicking, like, what are we gonna do?
That's why she was with him. Hey, Kev dig, and that's why she was with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
And because he would be the coolest head in the room. I never seen dudes stress. My mother be losing it. He say, shit. She said, you act like I ain't. He said, shit, well, I figured it out. That ain't gonna do nothing for me.
Right, what can you do? Shit, but figure it out.
Ain't gonna do nothing for me.
Right.
But I'll figure it out. I'll get up in the morning, I go over here, I go over there, and I never seen him not be able to put that fire out. right? I'd never seen him not be able to say, and usually he was one of those type of dudes that he could sit back when shit was fixed and be like, see, I told y'all we was gonna be all right. Y'all was tripping. I tell y'all, man, when I tell you something, you take it to the bank, Jack. That's some shit he would say. So being raised by those two parents, like I said, when Reaganomics hit, my father lost his good factory job because, bro, what you talking about is near and dear to me because for 28 years, my pops had this supervisor job at Bucyrus area in South Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We lived on nice brick house on Capitol. We good. Right. Everything is fine. And boom, the 80s come, that's gone. Right. He didn't even, he's just like, all right, well, y'all figure something out. Try some shit, didn't work. Try some shit, didn't work. Caught some shit, bong bong. Done deal. We good now. We're good. And it involved him starting his own joint, starting his own business.
Yeah.
But that was due to he had a paralyzed hand. So he said, well, people ain't gonna give me the job I had because of my hand. So I said all that to say, if you make up your mind that no matter what, you have no excuse. This is entirely on me. It's like looking at my daughter the first time when she was born. I knew then that it was all on. It wasn't just me, but my wife as well. But this is mine. Like I'm responsible for this, dog. Like that's the feeling that came over my body looking at her saying, anytime she needs to eat, I need to provide it for her. If there's shelter that she needs, everything that I have to do it. It's on me. I have no excuse, right? And it was a learning curve, but I kept swinging, and you keep swinging, and pretty soon you'll be okay. And so I just tell people, man, you got to get to the meat of the problem. You can't be looking at the toppings. I ain't worried about the lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, onions, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. I'm worried about the patty. I'm worried about the patty. You said this was a quarter pounder. This ain't no quarter pounder. So I just try to tell people you got to keep fighting, man. And I know it's tough and if it wasn't, the city wouldn't look like it looks. People ain't out here choosing to live in squalor. The reality of the fact is a lot of people just don't know how to get out. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to God every day that I've been blessed enough to not ever have to even $7.50 an hour. Like
$7.25.
My family, thank God, man, we've never had to worry about whether our kids would have, but it's because both of us have been entirely focused and accountable for what happens. So it's like, no, we don't have no choice. This is what drove me to get a college degree. Cause I said, I don't know if it's going to make everything right, but I'm going to add that feather to my cap just in case I need it. And I need to reach back for it. They say, reach back for it. Black people say, reach around. He reached around and grabbed his gun. Erica wants your Facebook address. There's a lot I want to talk about tonight because the city is broken. This is what happened when I don't do a show on Monday. I end up leaving money on the table, which I absolutely hate. I'm trying to shorten the shows, right? So we can start putting them up on different platforms. But this is for the free package. This is me being cheap. I don't want to get them $12 so I can put 3-hour shows up.
Yeah.
I might need to take a look at myself. Like, $12. I'm like, I'm already paying for shit, but
I feel you.
Because I want to get it on iTunes and Spotify and that kind of thing, man. And I got the service, but I'm still trying to work this free one. And they like 2 hours is if it's over 2 hours. So I'm gonna leave some money on the table tonight because I want to talk about Milwaukee being broke more. It's $150 million deficit they have, and I keep looking back saying, wait, what? Didn't we just get something from the government for COVID? Didn't we? They went to buying all kinds of shit. Where the money go? What y'all do with it? Now you talking about cutting firehouses, fire stations, and you talk about reducing libraries, and you're talking about cutting police, and that kind of thing. I need to know, bullshit aside, like, okay, so what's the plan? So they had these different entities talking about what they call doomsday. This is in the People's News Network, by the way. Doomsday scenarios where, like, if we really got to cut all this money from y'all, how will y'all operate? And so at the same time, the county is saying we broke too. But the last time I checked, didn't we have a surplus with the state budget? See, this is why I get mad at politicians that come to me crying, You should be in Madison right now. They had, what was it, $150 million surplus? Something like that. It was millions of dollars. But you're Milwaukee, you the largest tax base, and you gonna sit at the computer ain't Putin for me. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah.
So and I want to get some people who really understand it. So I know like Vince and other individuals we've had on the show can come on and elaborate on this more. But like you building trains and shit, and it's billions of dollars invested downtown, like billions. We got skyscrapers now. And you telling me you're $150 million short? Where the money at? What's good? And I do understand that
They
one of the
selling
problems
them
is
over.
that the people you currently have in this city, they don't have the financial chutzpah to really to generate tax revenue like they should. But that's a green light for you, dumbass, downtown. We got to get these people better jobs, higher paying jobs. We need to get on the road and bring more companies and corporations that want to invest in our infrastructure and not just hire suburban candidates, but to hire and train in the city. God forbid a couple black people get a few jobs and we get a black middle class. Come on, man. Come on, man. We wouldn't want that now. Wait. Come on now.
Gentrification.
Yeah. Well, that's what this is all about, Kamar. Because I guarantee you when it flipped, they'll be able to find all that goddamn money then.
Yeah.
There's walking poodles all over this goddamn city. Shit. Let me see. And you telling me y'all don't want to legalize weed, and we got $150 million budget deficit, and you won't sign a piece of paper to say let's legalize recreational marijuana, and you can look at the effects that it's had on Chicago and in Denver and other places? Come on, man. Tell that story walking, my brother.
As long as they don't try to edge out the little guy, man. That'd be the problem with legalization. I just want the shit to be I want you to be able to grow it on the side of your tomatoes, not have to get all kind of paper and shit.
That's true too, real. But I think I'm talking about just generating tax revenue.
That definitely would bring in revenue,
right? Come on, man. You could because look,
we
Chicago
going to Illinois and shit,
out of.
So we taking our money to Illinois to get.
And it's overpriced like a son bitch.
Michigan,
but look how much money they've generated. Madison keeping it away from us, Dion says. Yeah, they of course. She said there's some high salary and there's same high salaries in them positions. There's some high salaries in those positions. Sounds like a serious misappropriation of funds. Listen, man, for a long time, I don't think a lot of people understand that Mayor Barrett didn't allow outside audits for a lot of places. The community development block grant money being one of those entities. Maybe it's time to open up the books. Because we heard Mayor Johnson say when he took over, they found $60 million for the OVP that they've been giving out. And he said, I didn't even know about this shit. How much more money don't you know about? Just sitting there. If you got all these millionaires who can give $700,000 to political campaigns and this kind of thing, come on, man. You playing with yourself and everybody can see it. It's public masturbation. He said y'all can have 3 marijuana plants. Up to 3? Are we up there? We can put them next to our tomatoes, Vince. Okay, well, Rail, you can grow every other row of tomatoes. You can put you a weed plant in there.
Is that what they putting in the proposal?
You know what? That referendum passed a couple years back, and everybody voted. Voter turnout was high because people misinterpreted that, thinking, they
was voting for right.
It was just a conversation. We willing to have a conversation.
Right. So just like with this lady, they were saying if they vote her in the office, she bringing abortions back. Like, has that been done yet, or what's going on with that? Because wasn't that they whole angle
to bring abortions back? You said that.
Wasn't that they whole angle about the protozoa lady? Like,
Polar sausage was supposed to help bring abortions back. But those promises they make you when they want you to vote, real. You know how that shit is.
Right, that Democratic shit.
They're Republican too. Shit. Mandela Barnes' mother was a teacher and his daddy worked third shift. We don't know what the fuck
peanut butter sandwich.
Third shift. He was a pimp on third shift. They never did
Mandela Barnes. Dude, that was the most entertaining shit. Mandela Barnes is making peanut butter sandwiches.
Right. The last time come on, man. I'm sorry.
Spreading lies.
Don't mean no harm, man. But yeah, man. So like tonight, the whole thing, like I said, there was a lot of things we wanted to talk about, but just talking about do for self and see the different levels, how complex it gets. We start talking about do for self, and the different, like, doing for self could just be like, you know what, I want to become more informed about things. I'm going to start investing in building a knowledge base about something, right? Like, oh, well, you know what, I don't like the food options I'm being given. I'm going to start looking into figuring out a way to get access to different kinds of food or more clean food. Maybe I'm going to garden. Maybe I'm going to shop more wisely. Maybe I'm going to go to certain other places. There's a million different ways that you can do for self, and they all represent the same thing, which is just basically taking accountability and saying, look, I'm going to put the excuses at a minimum, and I'm going to put my effort at a maximum, right? Because anytime you really believe in somebody, and I tell anybody who I work with professionally, I am not the be all, say all, end all, Svengali of social services. What I am is a person who's willing to sit down with you, listen to your story, and try to work with you to get to where you want to go. Like, really, it's about, let's just set some goals. Let's set some parameters. Let's establish a course, right? Let's figure out what we actually are looking at. We want to clear up the mist, as my man said, run through the smoke, because we often get disappointed. Now, a lot of people have learned over these few years, what we've said on Outlaw Radio is true about the Obamas, in which here's an elitist black family who went to Ivy League schools and became attorneys. And of course, we know Barack dabbled in some community organization, and they became the most powerful, most famous black family we'll ever have. But people are starting to figure out the truth about what they really are, is just some uppity Negroes. Now, I'm saying that to say, Michelle's having a conversation with Oprah, and Oprah asked her, were all your friends able to come along when you transitioned to the White House? She said, no. I had to leave some of them behind. If they wasn't acting right, I just kind of low-key ghosted them. Now, I do understand. We all got some people that you say, man, you can't come to the White House with that bullshit. But I still fucks with you on a fundamental level, right? She's saying when we became official, yeah, we cut off certain niggas. That's what I heard. Maybe that ain't what she said. I
They
feel
did.
like
Remember he denounced the preacher.
he did denounce the preacher, and he
They
denounced the
did do
minister.
that. She didn't
And,
lie.
and he denounced the minister as well, who gave him nothing but love,
But
right?
you know what, Kev? I mean, like, think about it though, man. Like, that was some real shit though. Cause like, no matter what you do, you're gonna have to cut different types of people off. You know what I mean? It may not be the same type of people, but like me, right? It's certain people who I can't be fucking around with because it'll fuck up my brand. You know what I mean? There's certain ventures I can't get into because it may fuck up my brand. You know what I mean? Like, I really can't be partnering with nobody to mix sea moss with alcohol. You dig what I'm saying? So, or like them same friends can't be your friends if you president. They can't be coming to the White House and shit with they shit, man. Smoking weed and shit. You can't do that.
I didn't look at it. Maybe that's one way to look at it, what you're saying, but that's not how I interpreted it.
Right.
Because and the first thing is there's nobody, no matter what my station is in life, that I'm better than. Right now, maybe I don't see you. Maybe I don't see you on an everyday basis. Maybe our consistent interactions have kind of went away, but I'm not cutting you off and I'm not ghosting you because of my station. Because you could reach out to me at any time and say, Kev, I need this or that. And if I ever had love for you once, I'm gonna have it forever for you. But also, here's the most important thing, Kamar. As opposed to saying I cut them off, why wouldn't you say, well, there's certain individuals that I just felt like I need to establish some space between us, because of I still love them, and if we can still communicate. But to say I cut them off just because I don't come around you don't mean you can't call me and say, Kev, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's good? It's still my brother.
Right.
I ain't cut you
But
off.
you know what, Kev, though?
I ain't gonna look at my phone and be like, oh, he's calling me. I don't talk to him anymore. Like I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I have a job now. I have a career. I'm somebody important.
Yeah, I get that, but you know what I mean. But okay, like this could be semantics too. Like it's the words you choose. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I cut them off. That could just mean I don't fuck with them like I used to. You know
It
what I
could
mean?
be.
Like, cause see, I got a bunch of friends, right, that I don't fuck with like I used to, but I don't kick it no more. You know what I mean?
It
They
could
don't come hang
be.
out with me. They don't come hang out around to the house, and you know what I'm saying. So no, we hang out where we hang out. We do
It
that when we
could
do
be.
what we do it, and they know that.
It could be semantics, but one thing we know for sure is we just laid it out that there's some demonstrated behavior of
Right.
walking away. If you telling me once I got to be president, I can't be friends with Farrakhan no more, I'm gonna say that makes you a mog, that makes you a
Yeah,
sellout, that
well,
makes
you
you a
know that's
coward.
what we gonna say, but you know you got to remember the system.
Right.
You got to
That's why I
remember the
said
game
me.
that
That's
they
why I said
play.
me. That's why I
Right,
said
right.
my
Yeah,
interpretation.
and that's why I say, like, no matter what the individual is doing, you know what I mean, in your life is different types of people you're gonna have to quit fucking with.
But then so
You know what I
there's a lot
mean?
of people who were friends with them on a high level. This ain't project
Right,
trash. This ain't crack
right.
dealers.
And
This is other
see,
black power. This is other black gatekeepers who they disassociated themselves from and ghosted too.
exactly. And
So it ain't just about a nigga
that's
who
my
been had
point.
his grill on the lawn.
That's the point I'm making. To be president, you know what I mean? They wasn't gonna be able to keep them relationships. They're gonna have to denounce that shit. You dig
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so no matter what you're doing, it's certain types of people. I ain't saying it's all thuggish motherfuckers or whatever, but it's just certain types of people that you're gonna have to quit fucking with in order to do what you do.
I may be overly critical. It just came off as uppity to me. Yeah, because I
Right.
always have said
Yeah,
that
because it's because we where we at.
I've always said I feel like that Obama was a Zionist elitist Negro. I've always said that. I've said that from the start, like, which is why I never was like a groupie, because I was like, I just feel like they're uppity Negroes. Like, yeah, but that's what it takes to play that game. But a lot of people didn't believe that to be the case. I guess that was my point. A lot of people were glamored and they thought Michelle cool. Like I could walk up to Michelle anytime and be like, "Hey, girl," and she'd be like, "Hey, nigga, what's good?" And it's not that.
And if that's your ultimate goal in life, you know what I mean, that's just what you're gonna have to do.
Yeah. You're right.
It sucks.
Jesse,
You know what I mean? It's foul.
Jeremiah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's foul turning your back on your people.
Well, we could tell by what you got done for the people when you was president, because you kept talking about you was everybody president, and they kept saying, "Fuck you, nigger."
Hey,
shout out to
everybody president but us.
Right. Shout out to the leader of the Ku Klux Klan who died. Shout out to him. I'm glad he died. I forget his name. He was like the grand dragon. Yeah. Fuck him and feed him beans. I'm glad he died. Who else could we have done without that got up out of here? If y'all know, let me know in my last few minutes. There's some other stuff I want to talk about.
I was saying Don Lemons got fired. But you remember all throughout the COVID thing, he was saying how he was just shitting on people who chose not to get the jab. You know, all the people who lost their job due to not taking the jab, and now he find himself jobless.
Yeah. And you know, once again, when your head get too big, you know, I'm not black, I'm OJ. So
okay,
that's why I say I got a problem with any of us who are, you know, too big for us, right?
That one dude, what's his name? The dude that was just in the Creed 3. I think the girl came out and said he didn't slap her, and that nigga he's still losing all his shit. Jonathan Majors?
He looked like a weirdo to me, though, so I don't know. I really haven't. He just looks like a weirdo to me. Like, I'm like, every picture of him I see, I'm like, dude, look like a weirdo. And then Cameron said he didn't go see the movie because of their photo shoots together, and it looked, you know, it was kind of zesty. So I'm caught on the fence on that one, man. I don't know. Thomas Robb. Who's Thomas Robb? Oh, that was the leader of the Klan who died. That was his name.
Oh.
Yeah. Shay said, rest in piss. Yeah, man. You know, you can work that out on the other side, but over here we like fuck you. And you know, the Klan is just a joke anyways. So I don't want to give them power. But if that's what you say, this is my wheelhouse, nigger, then I say fuck y'all. But you know, I think once again, it's very important that we learn how to do for self, because a lot of times this talk becomes kind of like a lullaby, and people don't want to hear it no more. And I think that's the problem with the black community right now, is that we've said this kind of thing to them so many times, and we talked about, you know, what we got to do for the community and where we need to be, and nobody's ever really given anybody any real solutions. It's like people love to hear themselves talk, and everybody's trying to be the most quotable individual there instead of being the most efficient and practical individual there. But I don't want people to think that just because you encounter some bad parts of something that there's not good to it as well. It's just like the way they sum up our community. And I heard the judge say that it's a sewer. Well, the difference between the community and the sewer is that in the community, it's all shit. And you can't tell me everybody in our community is shit. Is there some shit there? Is there some shitty elements? Absolutely, positively. But it's not a sewer, because a sewer is reserved and built to hold shit and move shit. That's not what our community is set up for. So I just want people to understand that the first way out of a hole is to stop digging and understand that most of the time, the biggest enemy you have in anything, the biggest opposition that you have is yourself. I keep telling people that it's you. Your haters, you're your haters. My ops, you're your op, right? Because nobody has the ability to put yourself in a different situation. They have no more ability than you do. And to start thinking about something different is the first step of change. So you can look at it and say, man, hold on, I done kind of took to a mentality here, and I need to kind of change the way I process. I understand, man, it's a long journey, and it requires some introspection. It really requires for you to get some sort of spiritual connection to something bigger than yourself that you can go to for guidance. I'm not going to tell you what to call it. I'm not going to tell you what their name is or what symbol or what temple they have. You can find that on your own. But when you ain't going to find it until you start looking. So I think a lot of people are looking for something to save them when they really need to get started by trying to save themselves, right? I heard a very beautiful quote on Rock the Bells radio. I was listening to Grandmaster Cass, who's a legendary hip hop artist, and Sha Rock, who was one of the people consider her the first female MC who was with the Funky 4+1. And they have a radio show on Rock the Bells. And I love the way Kaz ends it, because he always said, hip hop didn't invent anything. It reinvented everything. And I think that's the point of where we try to go. You should be a person who reinvents things when they no longer work for you, including yourself sometimes. Everybody knows you're going to run into some people who are going to tell you, fuck it, we fuck, there's nothing you could do, move. Man, this shit is horrible. This is the worst we'll ever have it. You ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit. And then you say, well, what do you do? And you find out that they don't do shit either, and they ain't shit themselves, which ultimately means that their criticism of the community outweighs their contribution, which ultimately makes them a motherfucking coon, right? So I will see y'all Monday night. Kamar, what you got popping for the weekend?
I'm going to be at the Sherman Phoenix Saturday. Well, no, I ain't. I got some other stuff lined up. I ain't going to be vending nowhere, but, y'all can call me and pick up whatever you need, or we may be able to schedule a delivery.
Delivery.
414-949-212, family. Let's put a package together for you.
You know it's real when he split the syllables up like that. Delivery. You got to have vision. Well, what you got popping this weekend?
Hey, me just steady sharing the knowledge. Book still on Amazon. 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope. Learn some practices to keep your sanity in this crazy ass world. So you ain't stressed out and stroking out. And then also, like I said, I'm starting to do consultations, whether it's, a natal chart reading, whether you're trying to get into gardening and want a garden consultation of, where the sun is and where the south is and where the best place to plant. Just get at me on either Instagram, Higher Frequency, HIGHERFREAKUENCY on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Go get it, y'all. I'll see y'all Monday.
Peace.